everyone. Welcome back to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where great pals recap romance novels while giggling, snorting, and sometimes railing against the heroine. I have to say, I'm feeling really thankful for all of you. The way you've come out to shop in our new Etsy store, all of the patrons who continue to support the show on Patreon, and everyone who leaves reviews on Apple Podcasts. You honestly have no idea how much it means to me and my whole family. So thank you. If you're still looking forward to leaving a 5-star rating and a review, we're still doing the bribe. In your review, just let me know what book you want to recap, and I will add it to our list. The list is long, but it's been really fun to work through. Today is actually brought to you by so many listener requests, both on 5-star reviews and emails and social media. The fantastic women from the Flight of Fantasy podcast joined me to recap A Court of Silver Flames. This is part 1, going out on the public feed, and then the rest will be exclusive to Heaving Bosoms Patreon. So, without further ado, let's get into our recap of the Nesta book with Kristina, Anna, and Kim. Here we go.
Oh, it has begun.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Oh my God. Okay. So.
Okay.
Okay.
First of all, I haven't said this yet, but
Say it.
thank you so much for coming and playing with me.
You're so welcome.
Oh my God, of course. We're so excited.
We're so excited.
Same.
So excited.
We're huge fans.
Oh,
so
thank you. Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. And I'm especially excited about this because this was a promise that we made to patrons forever ago, and I can finally make good on it. But
Yes.
I am a mere interloper in this genre. And I feel like I am in the presence of experts and like true fans and people who know like how the universes cross over and shit. The Masterverse.
Yeah.
I will do a humble brag for us that I would say we have maybe a minor in Sarah J. Maas in our life.
I was gonna say you're academics.
I would not so humble brag and say we have a PhD. We have a PhD.
We have a PhD.
We have a PhD in Sarah.
We have read and are very well versed in all the series. We also have multiple
All of them.
multiverse theories.
Oh my God.
Episodes where we
I
just
love those
go
episodes.
nuts on the nerds.
Yeah, I love your brains. I'm so excited that you're lending them to me.
Thanks.
Oh my
We will
gosh,
be
we're
very
so
careful
excited.
though about not giving spoilers for anything else.
Thank
we are
you.
good about the
We will.
honed in non-spoilers.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
we
you're
are good.
professionals. Come on.
We absolutely are.
You know.
Okay, so listener, I don't know if you noticed, but I am joined by the Flights of Fantasy gals. If you want to introduce yourselves, please.
Okay, yes, I'm Kristina. Hello.
I love that. And we always do this if they
love
can
it.
see us. We always
They
wave.
can
like,
on
"Hey,
Patreon.
yes."
I'm Patreon. It's a
true.
Patreon wave, yeah.
And I'm Anna.
And I'm Kim.
I'm so stoked.
We
Yeah,
are.
and so we're doing this episode out loud in public. Episode 1 is gonna go out on both feeds, and we're only doing part 1 of Akasus. And then
Excellent.
the rest of it is gonna be on Heaving Bosoms Patreon. So
Correct.
stoked
That's right.
about it.
You got to get over there and
As
watch
someone
it.
who is
Gotta get over.
an HB
Subscribe.
Patreon.
Yes.
It's great. It's great.
Good.
It's great.
Thank you for that ringing
So much
endorsement.
great content.
Oh my God.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. Okay. So this fucking dick knows. Listen,
Okay, so
I'm resentful. I texted you about this, Kristina. I
Yeah, you did.
resent how good this book is because I don't
Oh, it's
think
so good.
Nesta deserves it, and I will die on that
Oh
hill.
no!
Oh, Anna, I knew it. I knew you were a Nesta apologist. I knew it, Anna.
I am. I'm not a Nesta apologetic.
She does.
I
She
can
loves
see it in your
Nesta.
I
eyes.
just love a redemption
Ugh.
arc. Like I love it. It makes such good writing. It's so interesting.
I will. So I want all of us to just have this quote in Eternity of Mel saying she doesn't deserve the book, and then I think on our last episode, I want
I want to touch back on this.
Oh no!
We're gonna touch back.
Here's the thing.
We're only in part one. We have
part
so
one.
much.
That being said, though,
So much to
that
go,
being said,
Mel.
okay, so to be fair, Mel has only read this amount.
Yes.
We have read the entirety of the book, and we're going back, starting from the beginning with Mel.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
we have in our mindset
have
the journey. We have the whole timeline.
Right.
But
We have an unfair advantage because we know the full story arc. And
Yeah.
she is a raging bitch. in the
Boy,
beginning.
she is just
in the first 3 books. She's just
Raging.
so herself.
raging bitch.
Miserable. She's just
Yeah, and she will not help herself.
Yes.
like,
no.
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 God forbid.
Why'd you do
That's
that?
the thing about going into this book, right? Like going into this book, I was like, I hate her. Why are we doing a book about her? This is the worst case scenario.
I don't
Sarah.
want it.
Elaine's boring as hell, but I'd rather read about her. Like literally, that's how I felt.
I could get some gardening tips out of
honestly,
Elaine's
and-
book.
and
I know
I
that
felt-
much.
Teach me how to cook
Yeah, you
potatoes.
could.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in the kitchen now.
Why couldn't she plant potatoes? I still cannot get over
Agreed.
this. Why didn't she plant potatoes?
Why was she planting flowers in the shack that
don't
helps
get it.
nobody?
Even the fucking Irish
Right?
planted
A single
potatoes.
goddamn yam
an
would have
onion.
been helpful.
A bell pepper. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
anything. Useless.
A jalapeno.
Useless.
Anyways,
Whatever. A little pizza.
But yes, I think we all came into this book not liking Nesta.
Oh, I
and I do
hated
feel like
going
it's
into
on
this.
purpose that she starts at the bottom.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're
Sure.
Like, here we go.
Sarah J. Maas she's, a master.
Down
So
there.
I trust her, certainly, but I don't love
She
it.
is.
I don't love the
Yeah,
experience so
I'm-
far.
I think
I
because going into this book, I had read everything else, like all the Throne of Glass books, like 3 or 4 times. Crescent City 1 is already out, so I'd read that. And I was like, I'm just, at this point, it's like, in SJM we trust.
Sure.
And so we know that, like, we're going to get this. The end point is going to be what we want, but it's the journey there. And she takes this character who is so fucking unlikable.
She's so unlikable.
And but then she builds in these like little pieces of her throughout
Glimpses.
the book where you're just like, we've said this before. Like Elaine drives me crazy because I feel like there's nothing. I can't dig any deeper with her. But Nesta is like an onion. And Kim gave this like analogy. She's like an onion with so many layers that at least you can peel
There's
them back
stuff
and like
there.
get to something
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
You know where I got that from? Shrek. The movie Shrek.
A lot of wisdom came out of Shrek. Also, there are way more dick jokes than you expect, at least as a child who watched it. I watched it as an adult the other day.
Yes.
Holy fuck, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Over the
and it
head.
works
Watched it
for
as an
adults
adult
too.
now.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's hysterical.
I watched it I tried to watch it with my kids. They were not interested.
Oh, I haven't watched it as an adult.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of dick not jokes happening in this book. Lot
Oh my God.
lot of things
In
happening
this
here.
book.
So
Listen. I'm sorry. I have to take the floor right now.
Take it.
Hello.
Take it.
The way that this audiobook narrator talked about him being enormous. Like he's this and he's that and he's so enormous. And I was like, listen, I hear you and I will bow down. Okay? I will bow down to the enormity. I believe it down into my bones.
I believe
Yes. Anyway, that's all.
Yes.
The delivery of enormous, truly. I bet that was her audition. I bet her audition was like, I need you to read this line
Was
specifically.
enormous.
And just say
Absolutely.
enormous.
Can you
Multiple
say
times. And she was
enormous?
like,
No worries.
That's
got
her.
it.
We found
I'll
her.
nail it.
That's it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Guys,
She's
so,
like, "Oh."
so good. Okay, so let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
This asshole
Yeah.
has been, listen, I am on the train that she is not an alcoholic and everybody could take several seats because they could have done an intervention 3 years ago. But like, she was just a bitch
Sure.
then and she wasn't promiscuous. Everybody in Valeris is
Yeah.
supposed
Right.
to be all sex positive and shit, and they're not. They're like, you're a slut McGee.
Yeah, I don't get that.
and you gotta shut it down.
And we don't.
You need to
like
lock it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, actually, over here where my apartment is, people are fun. We're going out. People are jumping out my window.
going out. We're having a
like,
great
we're having
time.
a great time.
Great times are being had by all. And like, it's absolutely
Okay.
self-destructive and we understand that.
Yes,
but like,
we do.
everybody
We do.
coming
Right off the
over
bat.
to be like, we're locking you in the House of Wind
I know.
now. Like, why couldn't
Yeah.
you do that for just her personality? That was
we
enough.
need to why is this about the sex and the alcohol? I agree, because it's like you don't see the alcohol thing throughout the other books, or even it's like so she's promiscuous, so she's embracing this immortality. Might as well have some fun with it.
Oh my god, I don't know. Can I just take a poll really quick? Is it just me who would be such a goddamn slut if I was suddenly turned fae? If I was suddenly turned fae and single,
they have
don't
wings.
know.
No.
I would do some damage.
I'd be knocking them down. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
Racking them up.
That's all.
What?
Be running a train.
Remember,
Nesta and I would be
Yes.
Also, let's remember the only goddamn guys in her village before were like freaking asshole. What's his face?
Thomas?
And the other guy that hooked up in the barn with Feyre. That's like the only guys ever spoken about. Like we don't. And Grayson asshole guy.
Oh yeah, it's
like literally the only men talked about are literal awful humans.
Awful, terrible human beings.
Like she's there, just like, oh wow, all right, well, you're hot and sexy and eternal. Let's go for it.
I would, for like research purposes, I'm just curious how many of these females actually growl all the time in bed.
Oh my god.
I think
it's too much.
I think it has to happen. It's just part of being fae, right?
Yeah, I'll
That's
do some very personal surveys. Is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Thank you for taking that for the team.
In the trenches.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mel.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I appreciate that.
So is it Cassian who shows up to be like, listen, bitch?
Yeah.
He's like, I am
You're done.
Come to retrieve you.
You're done.
And guys in her bed. And
that was
he jumps out the window.
I loved it. I
love watching his restraint, like the guy is shitting himself in there because he knows Cassian's at the door.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
I love this.
That is
Cassian?
fun. That is very fun. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like, fuck my life.
I think he's like actually stuttering. He's like, that guy.
Nesta has his shirt on and he's like,
absolutely.
Get off my shirt. And she's like,
no,
there you go.
His
Go,
testicles
get
have
out.
never
Damn
been
it.
so far up in his body.
Ever
until that moment.
Literally up
Yeah.
inside.
True.
Yeah. 100%.
I feel like that's like a classic thing you see in any contemporary romance, though, where it's like there's like the scene where one of the guys shows up and she's got a guy in the room, and I'm like, I don't know, I love that vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's messy. It's
really,
messy.
like,
I love it.
messy.
Drops us in their dynamic.
Yeah.
Of him, like, you know.
Well, and especially since Cassian's not a huge asshole about it. He's just like, yep, I have no claim on me.
Because
I don't love it.
Cassian
Because Cassian
is incredible.
forever.
Love that.
Incredible.
Forever. Cassian forever.
He's amazing.
He's so amazing.
Why does he have such bad taste in women?
No, I thought the same thing.
Okay.
Hey,
now
their
here's-
chemistry, you cannot. It's good. That hip sex, so good.
They are sexually compatible, but I will tell you, if I were Cassian's friend, i.e. more, I'd be like, what are we doing?
No.
What are we doing?
We can't.
What are we
doing?
You deserve better.
This is not good. Now, okay, all the books leading up to this, we've gotten little Cassian and Nesta kind of moments.
And they're
but
delicious.
The big thing was in the last, if we're not counting Frost and Novella thing. Big thing in the last book,
Akawar
was like legitimately, they are prepared to die together. Like we are the most accepting our feelings we could possibly be.
She drapes her body over Cassian to protect him.
Yeah.
We're like, we love each other, always and forever, XOXO.
I wish we had more time, Nesta. That was my one
regret
wish.
in life is that we did not have more time.
More time.
You sweet
Do you know how old he is? That's his one regret. The one, singular.
Chills all over my body.
I know. So,
Truly.
but the fact that from then, she has then like retreated so far into her self-destructive shell that, and really, I read Frost and Novella.
Me too. And he threw his present into the...
She's terrible to him in that.
That was so
She's
sad.
vicious.
She is vicious.
He says that he looked for that present for months. And then she was like, I don't want this. And she was so mean to him. She goes, I want nothing from you. And it's so mean. And then he just throws it in the river.
Stop.
Anyways, okay.
Stop it.
I want to know what the present is.
I want to know what the present is so bad. What is it?
We don't find out in this book?
I don't know. Do we?
No.
Okay, I'm going to say, if we do, I don't remember.
Okay, fair enough. If we don't, Sarah J. Maas, that's mean. Just FYI.
It has to be coming.
Sarah, if you're listening to this, it's mean.
Sometimes she just keeps things
honestly,
from you.
yeah. And I know you don't need a newsletter magnet, but if you were to do one, just tell us about the present is all, you know?
Yeah,
that would work.
like just the
Would
presence.
love that. I would sign up for that.
Come on.
100%.
Okay, all right. So yeah.
Sign up for anything.
So she goes to the river house. She shows up at this beautiful mansion that Rhys has built for Feyre.
This entitled asshole is so pissed off that Feyre has done a portrait of everyone but her.
Yes!
Ma'am.
As
if you would sit for a portrait and not viciously make fun of her for painting in general, like you used to in your old house where she tried to put fucking daisies on the shit of your life. God.
Nesta was like, God damn it, that drawer. I hate the joy. I hate it.
Yes.
God. Yeah. But that's a great point, because of course you're not in the pictures. You were terrible to her. Yeah. You're so bad. But I didn't even think about them literally having to be painted. So like, it's actually the time you need to spend with the person.
Both of those things.
She would never do that.
Do you think she actually has? I never thought Feyre actually had anyone sit for them. I just figured she was like.
I know. I'm sure she just has them in her mind palace or whatever. But still,
yes.
Like she would still have to keep Nesta in her mind palace for that long. Like fuck that.
Also, last time we saw them together in Aka Foss was when she was like so mean to her. Like Feyre's like, can you just please come to my birthday party, please? You're my sister. I love you. And she storms off. Nesta's like, fuck you, pretty much. And then Feyre goes and she's crying and she turns around and she goes, my rent check. And she was like, what? And she's like, my rent check's due next week in case you forgot. And she's like, okay, well, if you come to my party, I guess I'll pay your rent. And then she shows up and she's like, where's my rent?
God,
it's so bad.
I can't. Okay. I can't with this woman.
Why would she want you in her pictures? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. She wouldn't.
So anyway, she walks in and they're like, listen, Nesta, we're done paying for your self-destructive bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to be fucking destitute. So instead, we're putting you on a hard diet of loneliness and seclusion. No wine, no carousing.
No wine. Chocolate cake is okay, but no wine.
Chocolate cake, fine.
Yeah.
Just stuff yourself full of that. No wine, no strange dick. Those are the two things you are not allowed anymore.
Stuff yourself full of strange dick. No.
We're cutting you off in those
in order to not be lonely, you have to walk down 10,000 steps.
It's so fantastic. This device, I was wondering in the earlier books what she was going to do with this goddamn 10,000 step staircase. And this is the perfect torture device for this asshole.
This is it.
I
love it.
This is it.
Worth the wait. And it really is used effectively. It's like used in this way of like a mental. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. And Nesta has the audacity to be like, I'm sorry. You're not going to continue to fund my absolute nastiness as I just spend all your money and piss on your hopes and dreams? You don't want to pay for that anymore?
God damn it.
And they're like, no, Nesta. What do you fucking want?
No.
Also, it just it feels so... It feels like such a... Like, okay, Nesta... in her, like, I want nothing to do with these people. I'm not in this family.
Yes.
I'm like, they don't support me, whatever.
Get a job
almost
then, Nesta.
counterproductive that she would still take their money.
Yes.
Like, it feels weird. Like, that feels like the major fuck
that's
you.
That's her entire...
It is her entire thing.
That's just like her sense
of entitlement. Yeah.
And
it's like,
100%.
I didn't know that Sarah J. Maas could make this particular part of her personality even more visceral than I'm gonna sit and starve in the cabin and then bitch you out even though you're the one who's the only person bringing our whole family food.
Oh my God.
Fuck you, I'm not chopping wood. I didn't know it could get worse than that. And somehow, I mean, she's a genius, Sarah J. Maas. Genius.
Oh, she is. When we say she takes you down to the bottom with Nesta, it's down there.
You just forget, like, reading this, I was texting them, Kim and Kristina, I was like, God, I just forgot how fucking bleak the first part of this book is.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
Like, it's so
she
depressing.
Somehow remembers even the wood
she's
cutting.
not only is she an asshole, like, not only are we dealing with her being, like, a complete asshole jerk, but then you also have these moments of, like, where she goes into herself and, like, the self-hatred.
And the self-hatred because she knows she's an asshole.
because she's an asshole. But it's like, so I think I texted Kim and Kristina. I was like, she's literally made her own hell. Yeah. She is her worst enemy. She has no idea. She's like down in the ditch. She's like, I'm done throwing ladders up. I don't care anymore. I'm going to be an asshole because I hate myself so much. So I'll just be alone forever. She has a great line about like becoming the wolf.
Oh, the wolf.
That devoured her. Yeah.
She let the wolf devour. Like she grew claws to become like a wolf so that she could survive in their world. And then the wolf devoured her. And and it's such a great
I know.
It's such a great line.
It's
well, yeah, and like especially for the first, I don't know, 15 chapters or something. It is a very, I don't know, it's a very tangible depression that you're just sort of sunk into.
Totally.
Yeah.
It feels heavy. Like it's like
it's
claustrophobic.
Yeah. And then you have like sweet Cass just trying so hard.
Cassian.
And that's what's worse because it's like just let her be a bitch, but he's like, no, I'm gonna keep trying. And she's like
keep
fucking hell you will. I am gonna
keep reaching out that hand.
Oh, she's like, stop. She's like,
I will chop your hand off.
Truly.
No.
It's so sad about it. I'm like, don't treat it that way.
That's what that is how she makes it so effective. Is like she's like made these characters where they're literally like, beloved to us.
Yes.
Like Feyre and Cass and Rhys and these people who are like legitimately like we would die for them as if they're real humans. And Faye, whatever. Then she creates this character who is so mean to them and in her head and like it's mean to them specifically and that's why it feels so like you're like guards up. You're like, how dare
as a reader, you're like, how dare you?
Well, and the cinnamon rolliest one of them is the one who has a sweet spot for her.
Yeah.
He's so noble and he's so generous and he's so all these things.
Sweetest cinnamon roll.
And he's the one who can't get enough of her absolute
can't get enough.
I'm like, Cass,
why?
Like, why?
Anyway.
And she okay.
They're at the House of Wind now. And they're like,
we've gotten there.
The only way you can get to any other organism who doesn't exist in the House of Wind is to go down those 10,000 steps. And good luck because you are the one person on the planet who can drink constantly and only get thinner but still have giant honkers.
Literally.
Good luck.
Unfair.
It must be a Faye thing.
Fine.
I don't know.
Unreal.
It has to be a Faye
You know what?
thing.
Maybe that's what she took from the cauldron. She was like, I want to never gain weight.
Yes.
But give me some luscious boobs.
Yeah, the power's in her boobs.
100%.
So
just
many
perky
boobs.
and high.
God.
But I will be rail thin elsewhere.
Come on.
I mean.
Ugh, ridiculous. Anyway, okay, so what happens next?
Okay, so they're there. Okay. Nesta's a wolf. Fine.
Nesta's a wolf.
So then
fine.
I have Cass teaches Nesta generally about carbs and nutrition at breakfast because she doesn't understand how to eat.
She doesn't understand what.
I was with her. I was like, I don't want to eat this fucking oatmeal. I hate oatmeal.
Yeah,
I get it, but it was just really funny. Cass being like, okay, but if you. All right.
Oh my God.
So if you eat this and this will sustain you and blah, blah. Little did he know, bitch was not training. Bitch was not going to move off that rock. So like, yeah.
Oh,
no, she was not.
So
no,
the actual nutrition talk didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that all happened.
She could have skipped the oatmeal because she wasn't getting off that damn rock. It didn't matter anyway.
So then they go to their first training session.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry because the other conditions were she has to train for warriorness with Cassian and also work in the library that is for the priestesses
who have
the priestess trauma. That one
the trauma priestesses.
I agree with the punishment.
Oh, I love it.
I like both punishments.
I think it's very smart. It's like this is exactly what she needs.
I love it.
Let's just
She does. She needs to be knocked down a few pegs and see
what real problems are. You fuck.
Yeah.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
It's so true, though. It's so hard.
It's trauma. Clotho has like mangled hands. She can't even.
Oh, Clotho.
Oh my God, Clotho. I would die for Clotho.
I know.
She's
okay, but first we go to the first training session, and I can't believe this, but like I understand Nesta in this moment. Because
I love what she says.
My perspective, because I don't remember the actual quote, I'm very excited to hear it though, Anna. So please keep that bookmarked. Like, I'm not going to go into the dude sweat room at the gym.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I will do other machines. I will do weights elsewhere. But you want to take me to the dude sweat room? Fuck you in your face. I'm not doing that.
I got that too. I was like, so later on when Cassian realizes why she doesn't want to train there because she doesn't want to look foolish. I don't want to look foolish when I go into the gym today.
Yeah.
Nope.
I get self-conscious.
Around Illyrian warriors? Like,
are you
like
kidding?
the cavemen of the
Cassian's
Fae?
muscles have muscles. Like,
also, let's also remember
They're the misogynist cavemen of the Fae.
Yes. That right before this, Devlin.
Fuck him.
Devlin was like,
he says,
like,
what?
you must bury the weapon she touches. And then he was like, are you bleeding witch?
Are you
like,
on your cycle?
Are you bleeding witch was one of my favorites.
I don't know if that always says it, but like, that was the sentiment.
No, that was.
And I love Cassian. You can see Cassian just going like, oh, Jesus Christ.
He was like
God damn it.
Fuck's
He was
sake.
like, that's not necessary. He's like, we're going to do it anyways. And Cassian's like, okay.
But I love when she first shows up, because if you remember in Akawar, when she first shows up to the Illyrian war camps, Devlin is like, what is she? And she's like, I'm a witch.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah,
witch.
yeah.
And so when she shows up here, he's like, what's her business here? And she just looks at him and she's like, witchcraft.
Yes.
I did have
I
that.
love when the snark.
I do love that.
I love her
Same.
snark. Even though she's an asshole, it's directed at the wrong people.
She
most
just
of
has
the
to
time.
direct it in the right directions, and I would be fine.
Exactly.
In the right direction.
Exactly.
She
Totally.
just needs to funnel it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
channel it where it
Channels.
goes.
Yeah.
Channels, you know?
No, I understood Nesta too, because I wouldn't want to do that either. Like, everyone's watching her, everyone's staring at her. They all think she's literally a witch, and she's like, I'm not about to get up here and like make a fool out of myself
It
in
was
front of
so
all these
hard,
people.
though,
And
because-
Cass is just like,
Because Cassian's
so
trying so
hard.
hard. And
Because Cassian, and it humiliates him. Like,
he's
he is
embarrassed.
that's the part.
I know.
That's the
Yeah.
part. I'm like, listen, I will go into the dude sweat room if it means
for Cass.
Cassian is not embarrassed. Like,
Yeah, me too.
I know.
We would
Sweet
do that.
angel.
We would do that.
you want me to do a Tai Chi
Nesta
in the dude
can't.
sweat room, Cassian?
Fine.
Here I am.
Fine.
Does anybody here watch It's Always Sunny?
Yes.
I do not.
Yeah.
Okay, all I kept picturing was Mac going through his
Yes!
I do not know that, but
doing
you
his movements by
demonstrating it
himself,
was
and I was like,
great.
I know he's a
Great.
lot sexier right now than
Oh, yeah.
Mac in It's Always Sunny, but that's all I'm picturing.
I love it. I love that.
Well, I
That's
also did
hysterical.
love, though, to that point, that so she's like, I'm sitting on this rock. I will not move. No, thank you. I am the rock. And he was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just work out in front of you. Like, it's so funny that he wasn't like, all right, well, I guess we're done here. He was
Let's
like,
go.
all right, well, I guess I'll just do my
And
exercises.
like, Cassian, don't threaten me with a good time. Like, you think that's going to dissuade her from just sitting on the rock?
I would love to sit here and watch
You just gave her more fodder for her bedroom time later.
For sure.
He's like, I guess I'll just take my
She
shirt
can't
off
have
and
random dick anymore,
Yeah.
so she's got to use her imagination.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And Cassian's like, I'm here to make that happen. Like, I would just sit back and be like, okay.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt my heart, Cassian being like, please, and him like, there was a whole line about him like, the light in his eyes mission because he was embarrassed and like everyone was looking and he was like, okay, tomorrow then. Like, he's just like so disappointed.
Oh, it's so sad.
And like, it makes me so sad. But if I were in that scenario, I'd be like, please, dear God, do not make me do this. I will do anything else. Please. Anything else.
I can actually see
Anything.
Kristina like just like that. Do
Really?
not
read my
make me
mind.
do this.
Don't make me do it.
Get me.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Does she meet, it's like the second time they go up there that she meets Emery, right? Or is it the first time?
Oh, God, I love it.
God, I
I don't
love
think
an
it's the
Emery.
first time. The first time,
I love
it.
Moore
Emery.
shows up and she's like,
God.
hard at work, I see.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah. And then she's like real mean to her, which like, cause she's Cass's bestie and it's adorable.
Yeah,
They're
no,
anyway.
fair, more. Like,
Fair.
do
and
your
honestly, I agreed. If I were Moore, I'd be like, and then there's that line, this was earlier when Cass and Moore went to lunch and had a bestie lunch. But when Moore is like,
so cute.
we just should have dropped her in the Court of Nightmare. She would have thrived there. No. I was like,
Right.
honestly.
She actually, she probably would be running
Yes.
it at this
I
point.
was like, she would
running
have
that
run.
shit
She would
by
have
now.
thrived
Yeah.
there.
No doubt.
They would have cleaned up their act so
Oh my
fast.
God. And can you even imagine how hot she would look on that throne?
Oh,
On that
so
nightmare
hot.
throne?
Hello.
Like,
Yes.
Not to mention,
Truly thrive there.
everyone else wouldn't have to go
Yes.
back. They'd just be like, Nesta's got it. She's got it under control.
What?
Oh, absolutely.
Why did they make her
emissary to the nightmares?
Emissary to the court of nightmares.
There we go. Because Moore shouldn't be doing it. Moore doesn't want to do it.
We'll go down there.
What up
for her? She's been through enough.
Smart. Okay, so
sit down there. She didn't give a shit about anybody.
So after first sitting on the rock, not training, then she goes to the library and meets Clotho for the first time. Like we do first library, which we still don't meet.
I love a first library.
Really sad self-talk here, and it almost feels like in the library, in the silence, it comes out. You know, like
it does. Yeah, she talks about that.
Yeah, and she.
What chapter is that, Kristina? That she's in
6.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm worthless. I hate everything that I am. Like, it's just so hard to read.
It's bleak.
She said, like, I'm so tired. I'm wanting to be anywhere but in my own head.
And it's so accurate.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you, like, the year or so after my dad died and I got arrested, I basically always had, like, an AirPod or an audiobook or, like, there was, the TV was on. I could not handle silence and being in my own head at all. And that's exactly what that sort of environment does. It just forces you to confront yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Be with your own
after my dad died, that's when I started listening to podcasts, actually.
Absolutely.
I can't listen to music because it's too emotionally charged, but I have to have something in my ear at all times.
Yep.
And that's when I started that.
Oh, that's so interesting. I felt for her. I mean, God, she just hates herself so much that, like, there are moments where you almost feel bad hating her because you're like, God, you can't hate her more than she hates herself. Like,
you can't.
So sad.
That's really true.
But it's true. And she has a line like in chapter 2 or something where she talks about how she knows Rhysand can't stand her and he's like has all these thoughts. And she goes, and I don't disagree with him. I am all those things. Yeah. And you just read it and you're like, holy shit, your self-esteem is non-existent.
No.
Well, and
it's just
Sarah, you brilliant, cruel mistress, because you take us back and forth so much.
Yeah.
Sarah?
God damn it, Sarah.
Oh, you queen.
All right, so, and then she thinks she's worthless, and then she gets home, and the house won't give her wine, so she's like, let's try the steps, and that does not go well.
I love the house.
I love the house.
I love the house so much.
It's a character.
I'm sad it hasn't been a character up until this point, but more than that,
right?
What happened to this house that Nesta is the only one it wants to befriend?
So I have a lot of questions about the house.
House, are you okay?
Blink twice if you're in trouble.
What is your trauma?
Yeah.
Okay, do we find out, or is do we get, because I have like a theory, but I don't remember if we find out if I don't remember.
Cass asked Rhys, and he's like, oh, I didn't know the house was like sentient, basically, and Rhys was like, it hasn't been, or like somebody says like it hasn't been. So I was wondering if because
she's maid, did she like somehow?
But so
because she's so lost and lonely, and she has no no friends, right? She's by herself. She's her own, and it's almost like she's created a friend. Like it's like her, like she's made it. Because, and I don't know if it's like her magic is somehow working with it. And I honestly do not remember if we find out in the end if there's something going on.
I don't remember if we do either. I did see a fun fan theory. Maybe your listener sent this to us. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But that the house is actually Bryaxis. Because, like, Bryaxis is gone, no one can find Bryaxis. And the energy of Bryaxis, like, is, like, somehow the house, like, talking to Nesta and being Nesta's bestie.
I love that.
I don't really understand how that would be a thing, but I like
Bryaxis.
The idea of Bryaxis being, like, fun and, like, here's some smutty romance.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love
that the house reads smut.
I love it. I was
here for it. Can I get some Rex, please?
Yeah, this is the first time that I've seen Sarah J. Maas, like, I don't know. I wondered while I was reading it if it was a commentary on all of the like the publishers at the beginning being like, no, you have to take out all the sex because only YA fantasy sells. And then her finally being like, no, I'm putting all the sex in and the characters are going to talk about how liberating romance is. And like, I'm really putting romance forward in this book, like reclaiming it almost.
I love that.
Yes.
And you're right. I love that you're right. And I think that is putting the books in too. It's like, no, this is actually like, her reading this is liberating. Yeah. And I
love that Nesta loves to read. Like, I'm just like, yes, girl.
She's like,
you some
my private library.
I love
it. Because this was the first Sarah J. Maas book that actually was like
it fucks
full steam.
Oh,
full steam. Like, because she was
she called.
Okay, so sorry, this is not really a spoiler, but Crescent City 1 was technically the first adult book. But we were all anticipating this level of sex in that. We do not get this level of sex in that.
We do not get
very
that.
Disappointed. Then we get this, and we're like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Like, give us more.
Where has this
Where have you been? Exactly. Where have you been hiding this? We get a little allusion to a possible menage a trois, and I'm just
if we don't get a quasi-incest threesome in this book, I'm going to get really mad.
Agreed.
You cannot.
I'm just going to need you to reset your expectations.
With an imaginary threesome between Azriel and Cassian and Nesta and not deliver. Like, listen, I'm still waiting for somebody to send me that fanfic of the poker night of Rhys and Azriel and Cassian playing poker and then getting a little frisky. That's
getting it.
I just need it. I need someone to write it, and I need somebody to send it to me.
We will fund it. Send us your Venmo, and I will Venmo you.
The boys need to kiss.
Make it happen.
The boys need to kiss.
They do.
I do. I think I'm
this
like
is so Cassie
100% they have been in.
That would be.
But I'm 100% that they've been in like threesomes, foursomes, things together. Like 100%.
Oh, they're very secure.
They all have 100%.
They said that. They said in the beginning, Cassian's like, we've had sex in front of each other a lot.
Right. But I'm saying like fully together in a threesome situation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that all of the threesomes
happened.
they're alluding to are like MFM instead of MMF. Like the penises don't
Not
kiss.
our ideal.
Yeah. The swords don't cross. Whatever.
Okay.
I still feel like Azriel is very much a voyeur.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
I can see that.
I really think that's his
he's a freak. Sarah said he's the freakiest.
Yes.
She has literally stated that.
In an interview.
He's the freakiest.
Those shadows.
I mean,
Stop
the shadows,
but
I'm certain they can tie you up.
I'm ready.
Oh, great.
Oh,
They can. They can in my mind, and they will.
They are the sexiest
And they will.
Okay, I have a question. I'm sorry to derail us like this, but I'm also not sorry at all. This is my podcast. Are you of the opinion that Azriel is an Elaine, or Azriel is
This is a hot topic.
Oh God, Mel.
How long do you have? Okay.
Where do you stand? Because we have strong opinions.
I have an opinion that I think.
Well, we have an opinion. You have to finish the book.
But wait, let's hear your opinion right now. What's your opinion?
Yeah, as of right now, what do you think?
Okay, I'm going to tell you my wish, because I think it would be the interesting choice. From a craft standpoint, I really want to see Sarah J. Maas fuck up the fated mate thing.
Agreed.
I really want Azriel with Elaine, and I want Elaine and Lucien to like have to deal with it, and I want Azriel to have to be like, yeah, you can impregnate her, I guess, or whatever, you know. Like I want her to play with that, because it's so cut and dry right now.
Agreed.
That she's capable of it.
So
I think that
we all agree that we want to see the rejected mate thing.
Agreed.
Specifically with
we have a different ship. We have a different ship for Azriel.
Tell me everything.
We can't yet.
Well,
have I not met her yet?
Cannot.
We can't tell you.
No, you have.
Met her.
Oh, we can tell her that.
Gwyn. Okay, it's because I'm on artist Instagram that there are so many NSFW being like, are you an Azriel and Elaine or an Azriel and a Gwyn?
It's a huge ship war right now.
It's huge. Brutal out there.
It's brutal in the streets with these ships.
I mean,
the youths are calling it Elriel or Gwynriel currently. It's a hard.
There are also
West
bonus
Side Story
chapters
fight in the
that
streets.
when we finish the book, you should go look at the bonus chapters.
There are bonus chapters.
We can include it in the part,
oh my god, yes, please.
Final
Oh my god, yes, please.
Final
if
part.
you would like us to recap them in the final episode, we can do that. Yes.
Yeah, we
can do that.
Amazing.
We'll do that for you.
Well, because that's the thing. Right. Now I'm conflicted, because while I want to see her do the rejected mate thing, on the other hand, I like Gwyn a lot more.
You can still do it. Listen, I ship Lucien and Vassa. I have since the moment
I like
he went off to get her.
I do like them.
And interestingly, you guys, there's a line about Elaine, and it does reference the spring court with her a lot.
Okay,
is she gonna save Tamlin? Is she gonna hop on Tamlin's D?
She's the beauty to his literal.
I literally think.
Oh my god!
I could see Sarah doing that. I could see Sarah doing that, because
there's a whole quote when they go to the court, when they go visit the spring court. and like and Cassian's allergic to the spring court.
Yeah.
But
I
know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but Eris talks about how he's Tamlin's prowling around in his beast form, and how the thorns, it's so Beauty and the Beast, the thorns and the roses are wrapping around the building, growing wild. All of the inhabitants have been left like basically neglected. It's like totally straight up Beauty and the Beast. And Elaine is referenced as the beautiful one, as the pretty one. Like, and she literally grows old.
Sarah.
Like, also, then she's like fucking her sister's lover, but whatever.
Oh, I'm good with that. I'm really good with that.
People think that's an option.
Either way, I think we all agree Elaine and Lucian do not need to be together. Like 100%.
No.
It's not interesting.
No, it's not.
I mean, listen, Sarah can make me believe anything, but it's not interesting.
Yeah.
It would be the much more but Sarah threw a line in there that you can break a mating bond. So why would she throw that in there if she wasn't going to do anything with it?
And we haven't done it yet. We haven't done it yet. We haven't
done it yet.
And she could end up being with Azriel. I'd also, going similarly how like I don't want to see the mating bond work just because it'd be more interesting. I also don't really want, I personally don't want Elaine and Azriel together because I also don't want to see three sisters end up with three brothers. It feels too neat.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
No, now that I thought about Elaine and Tamlin, that's definitely what I want to happen, because then I think that Tamlin could get his redemption arc, and Sarah J. Maas could play with the idea that like more goes into abuse than just one party. You know what I mean? Like Tamlin is not necessarily an abuser, period, the end. It could have been the dynamic he was in at that point in his life or whatever. And I don't know.
Well, Feyre has that line about something has been festering in the spring court longer than...
Yeah.
She says it's like some line alluding to the fact that like Tamlin is not necessarily... It's not just him. No. It's how he was brought up. Yes. It's like nature versus nurture. And we get more lines like that with Eris coming up too. Because like Eris is very different than his family.
So I would, of the redemption arcs, if we can pick a Tamlin or an Eris, I'm here for an Eris.
You want an Eris? I like an Eris.
So I feel that if we're going to get one, I don't know how we're going to fit two in, like, we're only, from right now, we only have one more book.
Well, I think Eris would have to be his own book. Because next book is Elaine.
That's Elaine, yeah.
It is Elaine.
But I'm saying, what if Elaine was with Eris instead? Because then that would give us Eris redemption arc.
I just don't see that, mostly because...
I just don't see them.
Well, so one of the things that I'm wondering if the seeds she's planting here about Elaine have to do... Because, like, I'm jumping ahead a tiny bit, but when they're talking about having to find the made objects, and Elaine says... She looks at Nesta and she says, you can't hold against me that I want to lead a small, quiet life.
Loved that.
Right? But that's exactly, that was one of the biggest issues with Feyre and Tamlin's relationship. He didn't want an adventure lady.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No.
He can't handle an adventure lady. He wants to be somebody who wants to stay home and do the cool stuff at the shack.
I'm telling you guys, it could be a thing. I could see it.
But I don't think it could happen until like book 5. Like, I'm not ready for Tamlin to be redeemed. So if the next book is Elaine.
Well, but we say that about Nesta.
Oh, fuck.
That's true.
You're right, Anna.
I did not want a Nesta. I was like, I don't want to read her book. And
I know, and it's already good.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay.
It's good. Okay,
what was the last plot thing we said?
First training. She said no. Oh yeah, so she's at the library,
and she met
we talked about the spring court.
Yeah,
they do like their little visit.
I
guess also Nessa. Oh, we have like a quick little visit with Vasa, Lucian, and Jurian.
You guys, that was so
I know we're supposed to care about this right now. I don't care
about it.
Why are they trying to turn the general into the spy master? Reese, what's going on? Is it the baby? Is it baby fever that's fucking with you right now? Because Cassian's not
what is
diplomat.
Azriel doing? Like, what's too much on his plate?
I think it's something with Azriel.
I feel like we don't find out.
Or it's that Moore would typically be the one to be like, hey, I'm sexy cool, let me infiltrate your court.
But she
and
can't
she's
with
like
Eris.
often
she can't with Eris.
Oh, but she also can't with Eris,
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I don't like Eris is so mean to Cassian, and I'm like, stop putting him in these situations. He's so rude.
I don't know why, but I love it.
I think it's all a mask.
Oh, you love it?
You think but like
I do. I love it.
No, but I think it is like it's like Rhys for like
they hate each other. I think they both hate each other.
And that, like I do think he thinks he's a mongrel bastard. But I think it's more new. Like, I think it's nuanced.
I think Eris is getting a redemption arc, y'all. I think it's going to be good. I think he's going to be a Rhys.
Oh, the Eris redemption arc is going to be incredible.
Really good.
I cannot wait.
I swear to God, I love Akawar. There's so many great lines in it. But, like, we can't all be lucky. We can't all be as lucky as you are in your friend group, Rhysand, is what Eris tells to him. Like,
it's so true.
Like, he grew up in a court of nightmares himself.
Yeah.
And there was no one there to balance them. Rhysand had Cassian, Azriel, and more.
Yeah. He's like, all I had were these terrible brothers that were just
and my fucking awful father who's the worst.
If they grew up in the court of nightmares, he grew up in the court of hell, like with all that fire bullshit. So bad.
Touché.
And we know that he's already tried to like protect. Oh God, I want to know what happened with Moore.
I know.
Like he says to Cassian, he's like, you need to ask Moore what happened because what you think happened is not what happened.
I also think it's been very specifically stated that it's like she has never specifically told us that Eris was there. She's never specifically told us that Eris did the things. And you kind of assume it at the beginning and then you were like, oh, interesting. Like, what was he?
Can I tell you my theory?
Please.
What's your theory?
Okay, so I have a theory. I think we've talked about this maybe before once or twice. There's a lot of theories out there. But what if, so Moore's a lesbian.
Yes.
So what if she gets dropped off there, right, with Eris? What if there was like, maybe he's gay? I don't know if he could be. That. Like, what if they're both, like, what if they both realize that about each other and he's like, the only way that I can, like, basically is I have to reject you. Like, I have to reject you in order for you to be free of me. And this is, like, in order to do this, we have to do it in a way that, like, will be, because you are property in both of our courts. If we, sorry, I left that apart. Like, what if there was also a mating bond?
With who?
But the only way to reject, right? Because, like, if there was a mating bond between them, right? The Autumn Court has come out and said, Baron, yes. So what if they saw each other and because you can choose to, like, not smell the mating bond, you know? Like, Rhysand and Feyre didn't acknowledge the mating bond for a while.
Yeah.
And if Eris and Moore, when she got dropped off, was like, we sense a mating bond, but I'm a lesbian, I don't want to be here. And Eris is like actually not an asshole and kind of a stand-up guy and was like, listen, you're property here. You're a woman. You have no rights. We've learned in our previous books that like if you're a mate, you're considered property. Like nobody has any claim to you once you're mated, once you're a mated female. And he's like, under no uncertain terms, I have to like deny you. So this is how we're going to do this. Yeah. Because now you are like worthless. I'm not saying he did it. I'm saying, I don't know. I just feel like there was like a lot more happening.
I think for a full redemption arc, we are going to have very specific, concrete evidence. We're going to have to
chapter 54.
Yes, we're going to have
I need a chapter 54 of Akamath.
Exactly. We're going to have a very specific. He didn't know about the thing where they put the thing
nail
stapling and the things like we're gonna have he had nothing to do with that because that's the thing I can't get past is if he knew that or had any part of that.
No, I don't think he did. I wonder if he told her to go like screw somebody though. Like you got to go fuck somebody.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm
like
wondering.
Go have sex with Cassian because if you gave up your maidenhood, then like I can reject you.
But then I need something to explain why Moore still viscerally hates him. And if it's that he told her to go fuck someone and she thinks he knew she would be tortured almost to death as a result, that would explain her hatred of him.
But yes.
Well, he has a line in this book where he says, why don't you ask Morgan? I think she is starting to learn, realize the truth herself.
Right.
As if maybe she wasn't aware of what actually happened and she's starting to like piece the puzzle together. And she's like, doesn't want to acknowledge it. She's also been hiding herself. Nobody else knows she's lesbian.
Nothing.
Because that was a retcon. I'm sorry, I'm never going to believe anything else. I'm never going to believe anything else. When she started writing this series, Moore was as straight as an arrow. Everyone else.
Kristina said.
She's always been straight. And then Sarah J. Maas was like, need queer character. Who can be queer? And she just chose Moore.
Yeah, 100%.
This is why she's been rejecting Azriel for 500
years.
We did have a note.
We don't know where We don't know where Moore's been. She's been on that random green island with the ponies. We don't know what she's been doing.
Yeah, what's going on? I don't know.
So, okay, but yes, all right. So
I'm sorry, we're talking about Nesta. It's just I don't want to talk about Nesta because I don't love her yet.
With you, but you will.
I will. I know.
Maybe you won't. Maybe you won't.
No. I know I will.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilies.
All right, so I have literally my thing for chapter 7 is Cass visits Band of Exiles and they talk boring political things that I don't care about.
Oh, yes.
We don't need to talk about it.
I don't care.
Listen,
the
whole thing is just like, there's a human queen, the crone human queen wants to do a big war on everyone else. There is a really, there's a really convenient new death god who lives at the lake, who used to be in charge of Vasa, but for some reason has given her a hall pass that I can't understand. A hall pass in order to, like, work against him?
He's a death god, but he's like, sure, go fight my enemies.
All he wants in life is to leave the lake. And he's like, you know what you can do, Vasa? Go ahead, leave the lake.
Yeah.
Leave the lake.
Go forth, Firebird.
Fly free, Firebird.
Like... so they're hoping they need to like stave off another world-ending war.
Yeah,
another one.
Yeah, okay.
And we would also like that.
Fine.
Okay, so then they come back and like Cassian and her talk about their like smutty books. Cassian's like, "What are these books teaching you?" And she's like, "Lots of things."
Yeah.
Oh wait, this is when Asriel says. This is when Asriel says, "I don't need to resort to threats," and I love.
Listen, that man can say one line. It could be, "I like pork," and I'd be
Asriel
like,
is so hot. Oh, I think I'm fully a Gwyn. I'm fully on Gwyn, Team Gwyn now. Fully Team Gwyn.
I can't wait for you to keep reading. This makes me very happy.
No, it's done. It's done. I would love supporting evidence, but like, it's done.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah. Okay.
It's coming.
No.
It is coming.
We will provide a PowerPoint at the end.
I will say people...
I'll make one.
Oh my God. I will say people are like very like, I mean, this is a like
Mel, you can be
opening up. Like we get like hate DMs because we ship them.
Yeah, people are polarizing.
People need to stop.
I can't either.
Please,
I'm like
start crocheting
real,
or something.
So move on.
I also like can't
get a hobby.
Respond to people and be like, so these are not real people.
Real character. They're not real people.
I love them like they are, but like I also need you to know that I have not done anything personally wrong to these people because I know they don't exist. Okay.
I do not have, and Sarah does not take my notes.
No, absolutely not.
No, she doesn't.
Sarah doesn't give a fuck about me, and she shouldn't.
You know what? She should
does not give two singular thoughts.
Okay, so now we're watching Nesta sort of like become kind of okay with herself very, very slowly. Like the house is forcing her to eat square meals every once in a while.
I love that.
I love that.
It's treating her
so
like
much.
a toddler. When she says please, it gives her food.
Yes.
It's like, did you say please?
Teaching her manners.
Here's your food.
Yes.
Yep.
That's good.
And like, that is great for the house.
Yeah.
Great.
We have another training thing where she refuses, and then this is when she meets Emery.
Yes.
Emery!
Oh, love Emery.
Love Emery.
We're like, I'm so excited to keep reading because Emery is great. She's such a great character.
Yes. In this same chapter, we meet Emery and then we meet Gwen. Like, same chapter. Because she has this same, she has this thing where she's like, 2 friendly conversations in one day. Like,
that's right.
I know. And I will say, you know what's interesting is like, again, Sarah is so good at this. She is such a raging bitch. Yep. But then she has these moments where she realizes she's talking to somebody who maybe requires a little empathy. Yeah. And it's like she can check her own self and be like, okay, well, I'll be sort of nice here as much as I can.
Can't she be like
and
that
then
to
she feels like she hits her quota, and then she meets Gwyn, and she like realizes she has enough self-reflection to realize like, this chick has probably been through hell. So I'm going to temper my like attitude for a minute.
Well, and she does the same thing for Emery because of her clipped wings.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. It's hard because like why can't she have empathy for like her sisters or Cassian or Reese or anything else?
It's too close.
But
they don't have
the
physical
scars.
Right.
Like Nesta does sort of need to hit you in the face.
Yes, she does.
I also think that the everyone in the Night Court to her, they are like a happy club that they didn't invite me to. Like, I'm not in that club.
And they're on a team against her.
And they have a team and I'm not on the team. And so I feel like
they hate me and they don't like me.
Yeah.
And
I feel like the fact that these 2 people are strangers makes them immediately more easy for her to empathize with.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Well, they don't know. They don't know Nesta. Like she even says, like if only they knew like everything I had done, like they would not want to be friends with me.
Okay,
and
I have another question for you, and I'm so sorry. It's critical though.
Yes.
What the fuck is up with everybody looking Nesta in the face and saying, you're the one who killed the King of Hybern? Boring or not, Elaine did that shit.
Yes. Yes.
So I went back. I got really confused. I was like, did I miss, like, did we all just not read this?
Nope.
So I went back and I looked it up. Apparently stabbing him does not kill him.
Oh, fuck you. No.
So that hacking his
Sarah
head
J. Maas.
off
No.
is what actually
killed him?
But I'm just saying, like, that's the only thing I can piece together is, like, Elaine stabbed him, but, like, it took her hacking his head off. Like a
I want to be super duper clear here. Elaine popped up out of nowhere, legitimately nowhere, and stabbed the king while Nesta was literally
frozen,
succumbed to death. No, had like been like, I am going to die. I have accepted this. I am putting my hand over Cassian, and we will die but together as a unit. And like, I am accepting this as my fate. And then Elaine showed up and stabbed him. Like, if Elaine hadn't been there, she would literally be dead.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is this? And why is Sarah J. Maas gaslighting me so hard? Because, like, Elaine used all the skills she learned with her goddamn trowel in the garden, and she used those skills to stab the King of Hybern.
Well, like, it also feels like Elaine has nothing else to her name.
Shit for 3 books.
Exactly.
Like, let her have
Give her something.
one thing.
Not this bitch. This bitch didn't do it. This bitch had the power to level the whole ass field of warriors. She could have just obliterated the King of Hybern, and she decided because she didn't want to train.
That's what's beating herself up about. Yeah.
The fuck? Yeah. You didn't kill the King of... Why is she doing this to us? Why is Sarah J. Maas insisting upon this when she herself could read her last book and realize it didn't fucking happen?
Because it is super frustrating, because it's not even just... If it were just in her head, where she was like, she had changed history to where she killed the king, fine, but everyone else,
that would be delusional.
It's like accepted fact in the
even Elaine.
Elaine, Emery, people like, you are the king slayer. It's like, what?
Well, what's interesting is everybody else says it to her. But does she actually ever say it? Because the thing that bothers her the most is that she couldn't save anyone with her power. That she couldn't save her father.
She didn't.
She doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's what. Well, but could she?
And her thing too, when she lashes out at Elaine. Yeah, because she wouldn't.
She refused to work with Aaron, this asshole.
Right. And then when she lashes out at Elaine, she's like, "Well, that's because you showed up and you didn't save father." It's like, okay.
Oh, that was
bad.
Oh
yeah.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry. We're jumping ahead.
It's me. But what I'm hearing, if I'm hearing what you're saying correctly, it's that by the end of this book, that doesn't change. Everybody still thinks that Nesta killed the King of Hybern. When
I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't think it gets corrected.
I remember
it doesn't get corrected.
That is the case.
I don't think so.
Again, don't remember everything, but that's something that'll happen in Elaine's book next.
Why
maybe
is
she'll
Sarah
be
J. Maas like
what is the let's rewrite history.
I really don't understand it, because it was Elaine, and like, we don't love Elaine, but like, I would like to give her credit for the small thing that she did.
She did 2 things. She threw a shoe, and then she stabbed a man.
Well, she kicked that one. She kicked the one thing off.
She kicked it. Sorry, she didn't throw a shoe. She wasn't in the Nutcracker, but she did push with her foot. She did push with her dainty foot.
Yeah.
When Azriel rescued her, she did. And Nesta was like nowhere about to kill the king.
No!
She was on the ground,
exactly,
accepting her death. And Elaine's
she was fucking prone.
Yep.
I don't know.
All right. Anyway,
I don't have an answer
good
for
chat.
You.
Okay.
Good chat.
Okay, so moving on. So then we have that awkward dinner scene with everybody where
is that now?
Cassian and her. There wasn't like much that happened.
Oh no, wait. The only other thing is that we have she tries to do the stairs, and then she has the magic handprint that she's like,
the fire.
The fire.
She burns things down a tiny bit.
I'm falling, and my magic has come out like a Hollywood hand of fame.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she like has a black eye, and everyone's like, what happened?
What happened?
Like,
what happened to
I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
I felt on
I don't want to talk about it. It's been rough.
Well,
it.
doesn't Cassian
rough
taunt
day.
her about it because she can only make it like 200 steps, and he's like,
Yeah, he's like, that's
Okay, I
pathetic.
also the first time she can only make it 68
Come
steps.
on.
I'm not gonna be tired. I do the Stairmaster. That is not a lot of steps.
No.
That's like 5 flights.
Yeah.
Like she had to have been so fucking weak,
Yep,
and I'm
yep.
a human.
no,
I'm a
agreed.
human. Yeah.
Going down?
Down.
She was going down. That's the
68
easy
steps?
part. That's the easy
Down,
part.
yeah.
Going up is hard.
I don't. Cassie's like, that's pathetic. Maybe if you would, I don't know, train with me, then you wouldn't be
Yeah.
so
He's
fucking
like,
pathetic.
I literally think he says,
No.
if you get sick of being a meek kitten,
Yes.
then maybe you could come to training and participate.
Oh, I love it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. Then we have the
Okay,
offer
so then they
dinner.
have that dinner, and then they have the dinner scene where he's like, "Everyone hates you,"
Right.
which
He's
is rough.
not wrong.
But it's
No,
you know
not
what? That's you know what though. But it was a good thing for both of them to do because they needed to like. Sometimes you just gotta shit on each other. Like you're not shit on each other, but sometimes you just gotta
you just gotta
like,
get it
fight.
out. Yeah.
Get it
You gotta
out.
get it out.
Well,
It's not my
and
style,
the
but-
way he says it is he's like, it's so good. He's like, it's what everyone's thinking. It's what the reader is thinking. He's like,
Yes.
Totally.
well, great. Everybody hates you. Is that what you wanted? Congrats. It happened. Like,
It's happened.
congrats. And I think it
And
actually
she's
comes
like-
from her insulting Reese. Because she's like, Reese is such
Yes.
a fucking asshole. I hate Reese. And
And Cass is like,
mm-mm.
not gonna do that.
I love that is his hard limit. He's just like,
I know.
I love it.
I know.
You know what?
I will ride or die for my boy.
You know
And
why?
she's
Because
like, I hate him.
it is our hard limit. Because when she said that, I was like,
That's right.
no, ma'am.
I was like, too far. Too
Yeah.
far, Nesta.
I love it.
Don't you talk about
You've gone
recent
too
like
far.
that.
Yeah, but I love that he's like, yeah, I will absolutely go down on you for hours, but you speak one word against Reese, it's
And-
over.
Everyone hates you.
God.
Yeah,
So then Feyre and Cass have like a chit chat.
yeah.
And they're like, she
Oh
hates
my
me.
God.
No, she hates me. No, she hates
Dude.
me. No, she hates me.
This whole
Yeah.
like barrier thing around her body,
the
when we
second-
read it,
the
and
second.
the scent, I was like,
Yeah.
she preggers.
She's pregnant.
I was like,
Oh.
duh.
Really?
Why else are you masking her
Yeah.
scent?
Right over my head.
Oh, yeah.
Kim.
The second time.
I was busy hating Nesta and being attracted to Cassian, and I was thought nothing of Feyre. I was like, I don't have emotion for you
Fair
right now.
enough.
You're doing so many double
I have
things.
room for you.
I'm busy.
Okay, so yeah. So then at
Busy.
that talk is when he's like, oh, wow. She said that she wouldn't train
It's the dude sweat
in
room.
that village.
It's the
Yeah.
Eureka, we have training place here. Wow. Let's do that.
Which I also didn't quite understand why we didn't just do that from the
Why do we
beginning.
just do that? I don't.
But okay.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay. That's where Feyre trained. It's not like you took Feyre to the
No.
Illyrian war camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, we had to meet Emery
Anyway.
somehow.
Yeah.
Oh,
we gotta get
Exactly.
Emery.
There
We
you
did have to
go.
meet Emery.
That's what it is.
So we did have to meet
Plot.
Emery. And then we forgot about her for a few weeks.
It's true. So she finally has her first day, and he says, I will bargain for your first
The
hour.
bargain! Yeah.
Oh
The
my
bargains,
goodness.
the sexy tattoo
know.
bargain. Okay.
On the back.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
I
fine.
love that a bargain's a tattoo.
Oh,
it just like makes
agree.
it so
I love it.
sexy.
love
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So and that bargain is she'll train for an hour and literally then she gets to ask him
Whatever
anything
she
for-
wants.
Whatever. And it's Fey magic.
I love it.
She could be like, level that Illyrian village, and he would have to
Have
do
to
it.
do
Have to
it.
do it.
She'd be like,
That's
I need you to
dangerous
chop
game.
off Devlin's head. And he'd be like, gotta do it.
It's magic time.
yeah.
It's magic.
Tattoo
Uh,
times.
Let's fucking do it. Which would anybody be sad about
No,
that?
I
mean, no.
we
Not
don't.
a single
No.
being on the planet.
No.
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 All right.
But I do love their training session because it's like it's a good, it's
I love it.
like action and it's like fun to see that
Yeah.
because you get to see her working through her shit. And
Yeah.
to
and
quote one of our favorite movies, like endorphins make you happy and happy people don't.
True.
I just don't.
And I kind of want to know, who Sarah J. Maas's personal trainer is. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like,
Yes.
how
Yeah.
did she get all of
The
this?
details.
The movement,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the lunging and the breathing.
Yeah,
and-
like
yeah.
I
The
really
feet,
think
the feet
Sarah.
work, the feet. Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like she She does her research.
Oh, she does.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys
Probably has a personal
imagine
trainer.
being an author and being like, I'm gotta do research. I'm just gonna like go somewhere and do like a private training yoga like retreat so I just learn how to breathe.
100%.
It's for research for my book. Like publishers pay for it.
I've got to go for a week.
Oh, the dream.
True.
Okay.
So that's a tax write-off is what that is.
The dream. Yeah.
That's
okay.
It's just smart business.
So,
is what that is.
you know, truly. And then at the end of that first training session, the first time she got the physical movement and the things, we get like a little itty-bitty breakthrough where she's like, I think she even said like the smoke is cleared in her head. Like she says, like, calm.
Well, she says,
it's
she
so
goes,
good.
the breathing makes my head stop being so, and it goes horrible, awful, miserable. But then all she says is loud.
Yeah.
And he's like, understanding washes over his face. And he's like, mine too.
Because
Like,
there's
we
snakes
get
in there
that. It's
otherwise.
Like,
Yeah.
You gotta get the
the
snakes out.
Slytherin snakes are crawling.
It's true.
But yeah.
Oh my god!
And then she's like,
people describe the inner circle as a bunch of Slytherins.
you know what?
So funny.
It's when you compare it to, well, okay, that's another talk for another day.
Fair enough.
But okay.
That's another time.
Sorry.
Doesn't she leave and she goes, doesn't she leave afterwards and she says, and I never hated you, Cassian.
Yes,
I never hated you.
never
You're
just
hated
like,
you, Cassian.
More, let's vocalize. Let's
the thing.
fix it.
Keep
Let's
it
talk about this
going.
some more.
Keep it
We
going.
gotta,
Let's unpack
when
that.
we get to that dinner, not dinner scene later on, I really need to talk about vocalizing and not vocalizing. Anyway,
Okay.
so
on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
Noted.
she goes back down to the library and she's like, hold on, this
yeah.
helps me. Oh, no. Then she meets, so Gwyn, the whole thing with Gwyn is,
Yeah.
the first time she meets Gwyn, she's like, I'm in deep shit. I'm in deep priestess shit. And like, I messed up getting the book for this really cantankerous
Asshole
lady.
bitch. Yeah.
Ooh,
Meryl.
I really need it.
Terrified.
And Nesta does the one nice thing I think she's maybe ever done in her
Yes.
whole life.
Yes.
Ever.
It
Ever.
takes
so
effort, too. It
sweet.
takes
Like,
effort. It's
Does
like
it?
a whole
Or
thing.
does she say, House, bring me the book?
Oh, true.
But then she has to talk to a priestess. It's effort for Nesta.
Fair.
Hey, listen, baby steps.
Fair.
We gotta work our way up.
Fair.
Yeah, babyest baby steps
God.
here. Okay,
You're right. Okay.
We gotta walk before we run.
Yeah,
No, we're crawling. We're crawling.
We
Right
are.
now.
okay, we're
I did.
crawling.
We're crawling.
We're baby army crawling with
I was
one
gonna say,
awkward
we are
leg, and the other
literally-
one is like.
We are literally
out.
my 8-month-old that is army
Yeah.
crawling himself right now. Okay.
Yes.
But
But it was very sweet.
then,
It was
she
very nice.
goes to Meryl's office and
Yeah.
she's like, distraction.
Mhm. And
I'm
she's
Yeah.
switching books.
switching out the book, and then she goes and tells
Okay.
Switch up
Gwyn,
the book.
and
Yeah.
Oh,
she loves the
It's
way
sweet. It's
Gwyn
sweet.
sings in like a different language and stuff. And they're
Oh,
gonna
God,
be
yeah.
pals.
Agreed. Hey,
Oh,
you can tell,
They-
right? You can tell.
Yeah,
you
and
see that, right? See the bond?
because Nesta's feeling like more empowered after this one
Yes.
session of moving her body. She's like, hold on, could other ladies feel empowered too?
This is enlightening.
Yeah, and so she's like, Clotho, can
It's so
I
good,
put a
it's so
sign
good.
up so that, priestesses, if they were interested, could come, like, train and,
Yep.
learn how to fuck some shit up so that they
Yeah.
don't feel powerless anymore?
Yeah.
Love it.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
great. I loved it.
It's great.
I love that, like,
It's great.
the whole like idea of it, and her being like, I want to help other people, and Gwyn, everything with her and
Yeah.
Gwyn, and her being like,
Love it.
oh, Gwyn, like, I know something bad happened to her, but I don't want to like talk
Yeah.
about it, and then Gwyn being like, don't pity me, and she's like, like they're just like, it's great, it's great.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's good to read these scenes because you do have so much, there's so much nastiness with Nesta. But like when you see these moments with her, with Gwyn and with Emery, and like with her self-reflection, like, well, maybe my training can help someone else. It's like you're starting to see these like little glimpses of like,
Of her
okay,
reaching
maybe
back.
we can reaching
hand.
back and like how can I
Yes,
help
Mel.
someone else?
Reaching back.
Yeah.
And
Love it. Keep
Reaching
out
out
that
the
hand.
hand. She's doing it.
she's
She's
doing it.
like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So my
Maybe.
next note at
Is
least
a sexy.
sexy tension.
Yes.
And when he's like, okay, so all I have written down, I don't really remember what leads up to this, but
Listen,
he's
just
like,
tell us and
do
we'll
you
know."
know what I'm gonna think of tonight? That look on your face.
On
I'm
your face.
always
I'm
thinking about
always
that look
thinking
on your
about-
face.
Oh,
And then she does go off and she's like, House, can you please excuse me till dawn? And like, then she takes care of herself.
Yeah,
in
she's
a
like,
great way.
House, please, I need to do a big old masturbate.
Uh-huh.
So-
and I need you to give
Yes.
me some privacy for it, please. Uh-huh.
I love it.
And I'm happy we noted that. That was hilarious. And she's like thinking about Cass and it's all sexy hot. And then we see Cass the next morning thinking about that he did the same thing and thought about her, and it was like, really great.
Primo stuff.
So good, so good.
Enjoyed that.
Can we skip to when they fight and then kiss?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. That scene on the stairs where she's sitting up the stairs. And,
oh my God, when she comes up this, I love like a fight, and then that angry hate energy. It's like my favorite in all those like romance books. And then she just grabs him and they're like pushing up against the wall. Hot. It's the passion. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
And the way it's written, it's like really is a shift, but you kind of maybe see it coming. Like, no, maybe not. I don't know. And then she's like,
I feel like that's actually it's coming.
She grabbed him, and you're like, yes, it's good.
I think my favorite part of that whole thing was that she truly thought that she was doing it to throw him off. Like she could not self-reflect in that moment to the point where she could be like, I've just wanted to kiss him for maybe years now. Yeah.
I'm doing this to...
I'm just doing it to throw him off. Yeah, I'm going to teach him how...
Whatever you have to tell yourself, sister.
Because right before this, they got in the fight. Yeah. Because he was like, what's the plan here? You're just going to push everyone away until they leave you. Oh, sorry. Because right before this, she was mean to Elaine. They got in the fight. So then,
that's right. They got into the fight.
And then he's like,
that was bad.
And then there's Elaine comes out and she's crying, and Cass like, God damn it. Yeah. And then Rhys has to take her home, and he's like, what happened? What the hell did you do? And then she's like, oh, you think it's my fault?
No,
and it's
up until this point, Elaine is literally the only person Nesta has ever even looked at kindly, let alone anything else.
It's her beloved.
Yeah, and
it's her beloved.
Absolutely.
It's her beloved.
Like, that's her Fluffy.
You know what's interesting about that fight?
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, what I was going to say was there was a line in that fight, which, I mean, I'm on Elaine's side in the argument. Like, Nesta was a complete raging bitch. But there is an interesting line where Nesta, I don't know if it's in her head or if she says it out loud. I'm sure it's in her head. But she was like, I literally stood in this library by you.
Oh, she says it out loud.
So hard. She does. Like, I
was by your side.
But then I think she feels abandoned. Yeah. Like, I needed someone to just be in my corner. And you couldn't be in my corner. But I was in your corner.
And shipped me up to the House of Wind.
And you couldn't even look at my face while you did it.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that. Does she say it in a way that's constructive?
Nope.
No.
Absolutely not.
No. And then she takes it a step further and blames Elaine for their dad dying. And Elaine's like, I had nothing to do with it. It's not my fault.
And then what really sets her off is that Elaine says, Feyre warned me this would happen.
Yes.
Oh, because I also can empathize with that.
I empathize with that too. It's like it was us two. We triangulated against Feyre. And now you're triangulating against me?
Yeah.
It's not even so much that, it's just like the thought of people talking about you behind your back.
Yeah.
Or like organizing it, even if it's for your mental health or whatever, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to see how the sausage is made.
Totally.
And that's literally what it says. That's literally what it says. It says, the words struck Nesta like a slap. They'd spoken of her behavior, her attitude. Elaine and Feyre, that was the new status of things. The bond Elaine had chosen. That makes her really mad. Burrows, you know?
Yeah, and like from Nesta's point of view, she was like, bitch, I was sitting here like reading out loud because you were catatonic.
Trying to make you eat.
Was off like fucking Rhys. Like, where was Feyre that whole time? Oh, saving the world? Okay, but she wasn't by Elaine's side.
Okay, you're like, but I was like, literally like feeding you
or
tea
die for Elaine.
While she was like, the worms
she really is
and
ride
the
or die.
ravens and the creatures.
Worms, Elaine.
Exactly. Okay, all right. So that big fight happens, which leads to then Cass being like, what the hell? Which then leads to her being like, I am gonna like throw you off and kiss you, you sexy man, you.
And so then she pulls back, and then there's like this beat where they look at each other, and I always love that beat. That beat in this trope is the best.
I know.
And then he goes after her and like pushes her up against the wall. Her legs are around his waist.
Yeah.
She reaches down and she's just like, handy over the pants. It's handy over the pants time.
And you know what? It worked. He loves it.
He does.
Very into it.
Well, clearly he enjoyed it. So
he comes all over his pants, everyone.
Effective tactic.
Yeah.
Yep.
He does.
Leather pants.
Oh my God. Literally. okay, and I know it is not the same, but
I
in
don't
that
like
moment,
to
I was
picture the leather
thinking
pants.
about in Friends when he's trying to put on the
Ross.
leather pants, and
Ross,
it's like
yes.
the wet with the lotion. And I was like, oh my God. And he's not going to be able to get those off.
Never.
Oh,
they're painted on now with cum.
Yeah, literally they're
Oh, God.
But really. Okay.
Yeah.
But what does
So
Nesta
hot.
say? So Nesta then has a vulnerable moment. We're in the vulnerable land.
And
we're vulnerable.
Nesta,
And she thinks she sees the, oh God, he
This
regrets
is so
this, so I have to
relatable.
quickly
She
put all my
doesn't,
guards up.
But she doesn't.
No, but this is
then
so relatable.
She's like, I have to attack and
Yeah.
be the one in power. And so she says, oh, well, someone's quick off the mark and leaves.
And then just,
And it's
she
like-
flounces off. But like,
Oh,
when you're in that place where there are just snakes in your head and you see something like it's so relatable to immediately interpret it as the worst possible thing against you.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's like, if she was even one more month into her recovery, I think she could have been like, is this correct? And he would be like, fuck no, I'm just mad that like I came before you.
He's like, this is my just after climax face. I'm just like dealing with the body face.
and,
I'm not mad.
I'm sorry, Cassian, no, all of his partners come a minimum of 4 times before he comes.
100%. 100%.
And like,
Minimum.
he's horrified that
He's horrified with himself.
Before anything else could happen.
Which I kind of love. I kind of love that he just couldn't contain himself.
I know.
God,
That's what the face is. That's the face.
Yes,
he's like, oh
that's
no.
the face.
Yeah.
Of course, but she doesn't know that. She's just like, oh no, this is an oh no face.
It's an oh no mistake face.
You know, I mean, you can remember like in high school and it's like, yeah, this is nothing.
This doesn't mean anything.
Sure,
no,
this is
serious.
nothing. I don't care at all.
I don't care about this at all. I don't think we're gonna get married. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. I didn't plan the wedding.
That wasn't me like all of college. Yeah, no. Casual.
We've all been there.
And so now Cassian's like, I cannot believe this happened. I embarrassed myself hard. And I needed to go down on her immediately, but then she like fucked off. And
she was
now
like, peace.
Yeah, and now she thinks I'm
like, I gotta get the upper hand.
Yeah, she thinks I'm bad in bed. And like that I'm not gonna stand for that.
Nope.
Honestly,
though,
I kind of feel like that's good for his ego to be like, I gotta prove. I gotta show that I can do this.
Which he's always been generous.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's an issue for him at all. I think he's like,
no, I don't think that's an issue. But I'm saying I kind of like that he's like, I gotta show her. I gotta prove
sure,
this.
sure.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And so they do training and stuff, and they act like nothing happened. But then that night, he
my God, I don't know how you
he
do
does
that.
a knock on her door, right?
Knock.
Ooh.
And she's like,
and
I'm just here in my historical times chemise, and look at my nipples are all out.
My nipples in my bosom.
It's freezing. I can't have the fire on, so I'm quite cold. Look at my nipples.
I wonder what could be happening. Look at my flowing locks.
Oh yeah,
everything's super casual in here. What do you need, Cassian? And he's like,
I love the guy in the doorway leaning, just like,
and he's like,
and she's like, oh,
hello.
What do you need? Like pushing my breasts together, but that's not intentional.
What?
And he's like, I need to return the favor.
The only mistake. Because she's like, because you looked at me like it was a mistake.
Yeah.
And he's like, he says only mistake a few times, but the one I
he's
remember
like,
is
the only mistake
only
is
mistake
that you walked away before I could get on my knees.
Before I could taste you.
Before I could get on my knees. Jesus.
Sir.
Wait, what did you say, Anna? What's the other one?
And taste you.
He goes, the only mistake was I came before I could taste you. The only mistake was that you ran off before I could get on my knees.
Cassian!
And and then he's a dirty talker. More so than Resents.
But not as much as Elriel. I will die on that hill.
Yes. That's right.
Yes. I am hoping for more.
Elriel doesn't talk a lot, but you know what he does talk? In the bedroom.
In bed.
He makes it count.
In bed.
All right.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he does.
He's a man of few words.
This is precise,
but when those words are uttered.
Sorry, but yes, he is a dirty talker. But he's
it's good.
He's like
it's
that sweet like internal monologue dirty talker, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh my God, you're so responsive. Oh, Nesta, you're so wet for me.
Yeah.
Like, are you always so wet for me?
Are you always
God,
wet
Nesta,
for me?
it's a lot of saying her name, and he loves when she says his name. When she says his name, he's like,
yes.
He comes in his pants.
He literally comes in his leather pants. That's what happens. Yeah.
So he does a big go down on her.
Oh, and it is good.
It is good. It's great. So hot.
So hot.
So
but
hot.
then he's like, and now we're even.
Yeah.
And he walks out. You dirty, dirty boy.
I was like, he makes her come so hard, she bows off the bed.
Yes.
God.
I just need to, it has to be said.
I thank you.
And then
important detail.
He just casually gets up and he's like, and now we're even. And I'm like, that's a boss ass
and
move
she's
right
reaching
there.
for him. She's
Yes.
like, give me that cock. And he's like, later, babe. We're even now.
Later, babe.
And he's like,
I don't know what this says about me, but like, I don't understand how she didn't like crawl down the hallway after him. You know what I mean?
100%. I would have been like, hey, knock, knock.
I would have turned into a panther following him. Like,
prowling.
Stalking him down the hallway.
Hey, look at my
100%.
shimmies. Look at my hair. I'm
my
here.
God.
Hello.
I'm the
my hair flip. Hair flip.
I've got the prettiest kitty for you. What?
Oh, God.
Gross.
Damn it. Gross.
No.
But yes.
Okay.
But yes.
God, it's so hot. I will say them sexually.
Oh.
Fucking love it.
Fireworks.
I love it.
Yeah.
They're so hot together.
I also love, like, she's already got her back. Like, when he walks in, she's just like, this is just sex. And you can see, like, it notes, like something gutters in his eyes for a split second. And he's like, okay, Nesta.
Yeah, sure.
Like, we'll call this whatever you want.
Which
sure.
is a
flashback. Right.
Which is a flashback to when Feyre was like, I just want to have a distraction. And Rhys was like, oh, okay, I thought you wanted to love me forever, but fine. And then
I'll be your distraction.
And then they were like, fine, let's just like, finger bang in this cabin.
Oh, everybody has to lie to themselves at first.
It's true.
And be like,
it's true. We've all been there.
It makes the coming together later more sweet.
Okay, the only one plot thing we missed is that they go to the house and we get a dead trove lesson. And
they have a big meeting at the river house.
It's really boring. But this is when Elaine. It says the things. Elaine is like, I am a human.
Yes.
Hello, hear me roar.
But wait. Listen. Okay, so we've got. It used to be the magic bathtub, and now it's the triumvirate of terror. Whatever
now
the
it's
fuck.
There's Deathly Hollows.
It's a Deathly Hollow of Sarah J. Maas
It's a Deathly Hollows.
Yep.
One of them is
100%.
to raise the dead. Another one is to like persuade anybody of
Control
everything.
minds.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the
another
other one is to open all the doors.
is to open any
all the
door
doors.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's a harp, a mask, and a crown.
Sure. Yeah. And Briellen wants them.
Sure.
And she can't quite like find them because Nesta stole
She can't find them, or
something
she's
from the cauldron.
She like can't find them, so she has to use the lake man.
She can't. No, she can't find the cauldron.
Oh.
So, but she can find. She has some beacon in her that's able to find the dread troves.
Because
which is
she
then
was
if she
made
has
by the
all
cauldron.
3 dread troves. Yeah. If she has all 3 dread troves, then that can help her find the cauldron.
Interesting. Okay, yes,
That's what
absolutely.
And what does Koshi have to do with this?
Koschei is just like
Koseki wants them to be free himself from the lake because he can send the Firebird, but he can't free himself.
But he's like, and he's helping Bree.
Yeah.
I think because he can't leave his lake, so he's like basically she's doing his dirty
he's like,
work.
Bree, I'm stuck at this writer's retreat. I need a ride.
I'm done. I gotta go.
But did we not love that Feyre was like, hold on, why did we not look for these when we were looking for the cards in the book?
Great question, Feyre.
Thank you.
Great question. Thanks.
There's
for
like
asking.
this. There's so much heavenly fire happening in this like part of the book. Sorry, Mel.
We say
like we call it. So have you ever read a Cassandra Clare book?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Okay. Well, she
God.
does this
friends.
thing at the end of her books where literally like she rains down heavenly. It's like literally heavenly fire, and
It's
it
like
solves
a
everyone's problems.
It's like a very
convenient plot
point.
device,
Okay.
basically. And I feel like this whole section was riddled with like these heavenly fire moments.
Totally.
With like, why didn't we find it? Oh, well, because you couldn't access them because you're not made by the cauldron.
Yeah.
And also they made you conveniently forget everything Like the dread trove has some spell on it. And it's like, well, that's okay.
Well, no, and so in we call that romance reasons, mostly because we don't. It's usually like, why did they show up at the coffee shop at the same time? And so this in my language would be like fantasy reasons.
Yes.
You know, it's just like fantasy
reasons.
That.
Okay, that's what we say.
Very fair. We'll say that.
Fantasy reasons.
Okay, so fantasy reasons, we have the dread trove.
And I love that all of them are pussyfooting around this, being like, well, only made people could possibly find it.
Times. It's like,
who around
just
here
ask her.
has ever been made? I don't know.
Not me. Not me. I am but a like was a who the god hell knows what Amryn was, and then she was this like ethereal crazy angel, and then she was a maid other person, and now she's still high fame. She's like, oh no, not but I. Not
me. No, that was more of like a transformation. That was just like a costume change.
That was a costume.
You were made though,
but
you should do it.
Yeah, and so Nesta's like being willfully obtuse, being like, well, really glad that the dream team's going to take care of it. And they're like, but who is made and could do it? And that's when Elaine comes in and she's like, fucking me, man.
I'll do it.
I will.
And then Nesta's
like, made.
Fuck no.
Like, fucking hell you will. She's like, why? And Nesta's like, no, not you, never you. And she's like, no, Nesta, like, you can't shit on me for wanting to tend to my little garden and live a quiet life and then stop me whenever I try to, like, actually help and be a part of something. And Nesta's like,
Also, really, really proud of Elaine for saying, like, hey, everyone, I was the one who was kidnapped by the cauldron, and I'm sick of you making my trauma about you.
About you.
This was, I think, one of my favorite lines. I was just... Like, so this line, in general, makes me feel like, okay, Elaine's book's going to be fine. Because I was this is, like, I'm so happy we got this. Like, literally, she was like,
me too.
Like, you keep making, but somehow, my trauma is always about you. Like, my trauma is yours.
Love that.
And
yes.
I love that.
Because that's one of my big problems with Nesta. It's like, Elaine went through the exact same thing as you, and is kind and pleasant. Potatoes and tulips, but pleasant. Okay,
sure,
but pleasant,
kind, not cruel,
but pleasant.
But like, like Feyre has been through so much. Cassian's been through so much. Like, it's so hard for me.
Azriel,
like, everybody's got
everyone.
shit.
It's so hard. Yes, and I think it's really hard for me to be like, yes, because this happened to you, you're allowed to be cruel to people.
No,
in life and in books, and that's hard for me. So I feel like it's her saying this. I was like, yes, like this is exactly the issue here. Is like other people have issues too, and they are not cruel to people.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Elaine looks at everybody and she's like, let me know, come get me when you want to start. Mic drop, catch my farts, I'm leaving. And then
I'll be making yams.
Nesta,
bye.
Please tell me that this either gets explained or gets better. But like,
what?
Nesta looks at Feyre in her fucking face and says, why don't you just do it?
Yeah.
I have no problem with you risking your life and becoming paste on the concrete.
Oh, yeah.
But not Elaine. Like, why don't you do it?
Elaine.
I am willing to sacrifice you.
Yeah. Their relationship is...
And
it's toxic.
And there's a lot, too, in the flashbacks that's like, the mother even is like, well, Elaine will marry for love because she's beautiful, and Nesta, you will be a queen and conquer, and fuck Feyre. I don't give a shit.
And Feyre will do puzzles and play with ants.
Is she still here?
Yeah.
I forgot about her. No one taught her how to read. I forgot she existed.
Like a weird Feyre about her. Like you.
Yeah. Anyways, so she's like, Feyre, can't you just die? And then Feyre's like, no, I can't because I'm pregnant.
Actually, I can't because I have a life that's worth something. I have a living currency in my stomach right now.
In my belly. And oh my God. And Cass and Azriel's reaction was
that was so heartwarming.
I was going to say, I love Cass, so like, jumps on him, and they're so excited.
He, like, tackles him out of his chair.
It's so cute.
So happy.
The brotherhood.
It's so cute.
Okay, the brotherhood.
Oh my God, wait. And then he's like, Rhys, drop the shield for long enough for me to congratulate Feyre. And then Azriel... because he is basically Keanu Reeves as far as being conscientious king is concerned. Because he says, like, Azriel leans down to kiss Feyre's cheek. Well, to kiss the air like next to Feyre's cheek.
Next
because
to
he doesn't actually make contact with her. I'm
He's
obsessed.
just
like,
boundaries, whatever is appropriate.
He's everything.
Yes.
He's everything.
And
he's truly
then,
everything.
okay, this is honestly, okay, and this might be just because of my, I don't know, I just said
Tell
it
me
maybe 8
everything.
months ago, but maybe this is what this
Tell me
really
everything.
got me hot and bothered. I was really pissed about this one. So then Feyre has a nice moment with Nesta, and she's like, I'm having a boy. You're the first person I've told. Besides Reese, this is like an important thing I'm telling you. And she says, I didn't know I was going to be so excited to have a boy until it happened. And fucking Nesta's response is, oh, because having sisters was so horrible for you.
The fuck, dude?
And Feyre's response is, that's not what I meant. Like, that's not what I was saying.
She's like, I'm trying to share a sweet moment with you. Like,
my God.
Nesta.
And like, I had this.
She's like, well, Elaine guessed I was pregnant first, so I wanted
you to have this.
And Nesta goes,
she's like,
I wasn't aware we were keeping score.
Wow,
like,
Feyre. Wow.
I know. It's so exhausting. It's exhausting.
That moment
and I love that we see how exhausting it is for her to be her.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. And she's, because she also, it's so frustrating because you see her doing these things and being upset about it and then convincing herself that it's worth it and on purpose because they should hate her. And like, so it's like, it's this like cycle where she's awful so that they hate her, but then they hate her so she thinks they should hate her. It's just, oh God. It's
Well, and I think anytime she hears, like, I think anytime somebody says something nice to her, like that moment with Feyre, her immediate response is, I don't trust this, not because necessarily she doesn't think that Feyre is a good person, but it's, I don't trust this nicety, I don't deserve this nicety, so what is happening right now?
See, and that was me being, I think, maybe a little more negative to her than I should be, that I was like, anyone has joy. Nesta is like, fuck joy! I can't handle joy!
She doesn't. No, she's very much joy sucker right now.
That's absolutely spot on. That's absolutely spot on.
Completely spot on, Kristina.
But also, okay, I know Feyre is having a boy because, like, the Bone Carver says she's having a boy, and that's what the Bone Carver says, blah, blah, blah. Was anybody else like, no, but I want it to be a girl because I want Rhysand to be like, I'm having a high lady. Like, there's going to be like, my daughter will be a high lady.
Would be such a great girl. I mean,
I wanted it to be a girl.
Would we have a high princess? What? Do we have high prince and princesses?
I don't know, but like, I just love because he's so like, they're so progressive. I was like, I would have just, I don't know. It's like, I wanted, I mean,
I bet
it's like when Kate Middleton was pregnant. I wanted her first one to be a daughter so we could have a queen.
Yes.
There you go. I know. But then, don't Cass and Asriel have a really sweet combo. They're like sitting by the fire talking, and he's like, we're going to be uncles. And they're so happy.
They're
I love them so much.
That leads us into the sexy scene because he's like,
wait, but first he's like, do you want kids? And Asriel's like, doesn't matter what I want.
Also, sneaky interesting, mysterious.
What is that? Leah, why does it not matter what you want?
Why you say that, Asriel?
Because he's like turning his attentions to Elaine. It's like, first it was, he wants whoever is unobtainable. Moore is like, I don't want you for 500 years. And Asriel's like, okay, but I'm going to keep wanting you. Now he wants Elaine, and Elaine's mated to somebody else. And he's like, okay, well, I'll just go more. I'm over more. I'm going to go to the next unobtainable female. It's like, he's got his own shit he's got to work through.
He does.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
God.
It's going to be a good book.
It's going to be a great book.
I can't wait for it.
So they're like, we're going to be uncles and we're cuties.
So that's when Cassian's like, he starts picturing himself with Nesta, and he's like, I've got a score to settle. And then we go into like the sexy
and that's when the sex happens.
Okay,
that's when the sex happens.
That's when he goes and he's like, my mistake, and I'm going to go down on you.
I'm going to go down on you hard.
Yes. Got it.
Okay, and then is it the next morning that the breakfast table scene happens?
No.
That's a dinner time.
So then the next morning.
Oh, sorry.
That's dinner time.
Table.
So the next thing, the big thing that happens is, okay. Also, I love that the sign up genius that she puts up in the library. So and nobody signs up, and every time she checks it, and she's getting like more discouraged, and she finally really has sad. A Cassian. She does the same thing Cassian does. She has this aha moment of, they don't want to train up there. They've never left the fucking mountain. They haven't seen sun.
Yeah.
Well, and like it's around a dude in general, like a Fae XY chromosome situation.
Yeah.
Freaks him out.
No, thank you.
Totally.
Freaks him out. So she like does this little sneak thing where she's like, training in the library, punching books.
Doing Karate Kid moves.
Karate Kid moves.
Wax on, wax off.
So then Clotho calls Cass, and she's like, okay, so we have an issue. She's training in the stacks. Can you tell her to stop? And then Cass is like, okay, fine. So he goes, and he's like, what are you doing? And then he's like, you're dropping your right elbow. And she's like,
it's so good. It's so good.
What? Oh, show
and
me.
He's like,
show me.
Hold on, let me go out into the open so that you can.
Yeah.
Let me get out where I have more room.
Over here, and you show me.
Tell me other ways, other things to do. What else can I do? And then she does a whole to do. And he's like, yeah, that was fun.
And he's so respectful. He says, may I touch you? May I do this? He's so respectful with like the training.
He's gentle. He's encouraging.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And then he does all the things. And then she's like, all right, thanks. That'll be all. Thank you, sir. And he turns to leave, and all these priestesses are watching.
Everyone's watching.
It's so good.
And then he realizes, he's like Trixie Minx. Oh my God.
She's the minxiest Trix.
You didn't. He's like, you had perfect form this morning. And she's like, maybe.
What?
Maybe I did.
What?
Me too?
Oh, guys, wait.
So
like,
good.
Nesta, you're working too hard. You could have just been like, hey, Cass, come show me how to punch down in the library one time. And he would have been like,
that's not as much fun.
No probs.
Whatever you want.
I will do literally whatever you want,
Instead,
Nesta.
she has to annoy Clotho. Come on.
Yeah. She's been through enough.
That bitch, Clotho has to run an entire library without speaking. She's going to pass so many damn notes. She's going to be like, hey, here's a note. Here's another note. Did you get the last note? Like, there's so many writing things.
You didn't respond to the last note.
Yeah,
did you
get this email?
Per my last note.
Yeah.
But she has to write that. Per my last note.
It's true.
On a napkin.
But with the magic.
Wait,
thank goodness
what
she
we
can
missed.
write it magically.
Oh, thank God. But guys, one important thing that I think we might have missed is Az and Cass having sexy training time while Nesta watches them and pictures them having a threesome. Because that was life-changing for me, and I loved it.
Life-changing.
I heard she did have to cut a threesome out of this book.
I thought that was Crescent City.
Yes.
Was it this?
No, it's this one. I'm pretty sure it's this one. And then we all thought there was going to be a threesome in Crescent City.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
If her publishers don't get out of my fucking way.
I think the threesome was a dream sequence in her brain. Like her and having this with Cassian and Azriel.
A dream sequence. Menage, but I will take it.
I'll take it
because I just also
a tease, just a tease. I'm like thinking about it, and I was like, "Oh God, I am."
It's like three sentences, and I'm like, "Give me more."
Do a picket line outside of Bloomsbury? Should we
I'm
go?
fine with that.
With some
That's
signs
what we need to be doing.
And
I'm fine with that.
Some chants.
They need to know what they're up against.
Release the threesome.
That's all I'm saying.
Release the threesome.
Do we have to do like a FOIA request?
Yeah,
I think so. Fuck, everyone?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Mel, we're in like New York, New Jersey. I think they're in Manhattan. We'll meet in Manhattan one day.
Let's do it.
We'll be like, hello.
Let's do it. Girls trip.
We have a meeting with the CEO. You don't know us, but we do. We sure do.
You will.
We do.
You will know us.
You will know us.
And
then
while
they're kicking us out, we'll be like, release the threesome.
Do it. Stop. Get out of Sarah J. Maas's way. Give us what we want.
She like makes a public statement like, I have nothing to do with these women.
You're right.
I'm not affiliated with them at all.
We believe Sarah J. Maas. Okay, sorry.
All right.
Okay.
But that scene was super hot.
So we have the dropping of the elbows, and then
drop them.
We've got she comes home. She comes back to the house. Oh, and not Azriel. Cassian's left her a little book to read, which I love a man who reads. So
same.
Love it.
And it's all about like military strategy.
Battle.
That he left her a book, but I was like,
the battle of dance or the dance of battle,
the great
like
war or something like that.
I was like, this is sweet and all. Also this is when she was like, you didn't leave me this to the house, and the house was her romance was like, no, I did not.
This is what
I want you to read.
No, but you know what? I loved this because I'm really, really sick of Nesta pushing on that pain point of Cassian's that he's just a caveman.
A brute.
Yeah.
Like he's not. He's so smart and he's so thoughtful. And
so great.
She knows it hurts him. And this is one of those moments where she's like, no, even I can see the intellect that goes into his job, even. You know?
And how smart he is and how
100%.
Driven and how
much work it takes to lead a freaking army, which seems pretty self-explanatory to me that it would be difficult. Sure. But, whatever.
Well, and it's right after this. It's right after that he goes, Cassian has a meeting with Eris, and Eris is just such an asshole. And he's like, you're a brute. You're a bastard born nothing.
You're a mongrel bastard.
He doesn't say nothing, but you're a mongrel. He says awful things. And then Cassian... meanwhile, Nesta's talking with Emery, and she's like, "Hey, come train with us." And they have this sweet little lunch together. And
wait, I'm sorry. Then Nesta looks at Emery in her fucking face and says, "I didn't know you were a coward."
That was so upsetting to me. I was like, "We just made so much progress." Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that didn't upset me. I was like, because I was like, I feel like she's pushing her. I didn't take it as I didn't know
friends
you were
like that yet.
Yeah,
take several fucking seats.
I also feel like we just had Beliramius, whatever the fuck his name was, be awful to her, and we were
drunk guy,
and she was like, "I'm protecting you from this man." She is in a vulnerable state.
Yeah, and she just shared her Boston Tea Party tea with you. There's a shortage.
She needs that for her wing scars.
Yes.
Oh, she does.
Oh, her poor wing scars. I want to take her to Hellion and
wait.
Pheasant or Pheasant.
Before that happened, though. Rewind.
Yeah.
After we get the, Cass brings to the book, the end of part 1 is that she goes into work at the library, and Clotho's like, look. And she's like, no, Clotho. She's like, look. And Gwyn has signed up on the sheet.
Gwyn
and it's so good. I just love that, the way it's written. It's and then it's Gwyn, in, bold, as if it's her writing on the sheet.
It's bubble letters.
Bubbles!
I'm obsessed with it.
Maybe a little heart.
Maybe a little heart.
Because
Smiley.
Can you imagine the townhouse that Azriel and Gwyn inhabit, where he's just slinging shadows all around and she's just singing beautiful melodies in ancient languages.
God.
And
it's gorgeous.
And then he's just maybe tying her,
maybe just casually in the middle of the day.
Just just bending her over with restraining her. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
Their children have his dark hair and her freckles.
Stop it. They would be beautiful.
Or maybe auburn hair, her auburn hair, and his then dark features. God, it's
and they see each other's trauma and each other's pain, but she teaches him how to come out of the darkness a little bit.
Thank you, Mel.
Yes. Her music.
I can't say anything to you, and I just need you to take that, remember it, jot it down.
Just remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Put a pin in it. Put a pin.
Yep.
We'll circle back.
Yep. I'm pinned up. No worries.
We got lots more where that came from.
Okay, wait. So
then we have the scene.
What's up?
Go ahead.
What?
Were you gonna say the blowjob? Because the next thing I have written is the blowjob.
Well,
no, because we have the scene. Well, we have they meet. So
no, Kristina,
that's coming up. No, calm down.
That was where I was going, also, Kristina. But
thank you.
Anna, please. But
we have to get to Cassian's mental state.
I hear
so they
you.
have
That's
the argument. He has the thing with Cassian and Eris, and he shows up and Nesta, and now it's a reverse. Nesta's like, okay, I'm not good at this, but I'm gonna eat, and I'm gonna ask you a couple times if you're okay.
I'm gonna ask you about yourself. It feels weird. but go with it.
We're gonna, and it's gonna sound weird, and you're gonna say no, and I'm gonna ask again,
and I'm gonna be
making eye contact.
I'm gonna be so casual about it. Clank, clank with the fork on my plate. Yeah. Casual over here.
Casual.
Yeah. Super casual.
Chill. I'm gonna ask.
So what's happening?
I love Cassian though, because he's like, yeah. So I had a meeting with Eris or whatever, and I don't even care that he calls me racist names and that he's really mean to me. I don't even. That doesn't even matter to me.
It's fine. It's like sticks and stones. It doesn't even bother me.
Yeah.
God,
I'm about to cry. It's fine. She's like,
and this is one of those
sensing you're upset.
Yeah,
maybe.
And she knows that it's because Eris has done the exact same thing. She has done to him many. Yes. She has already picked at him and picked at him to where he already wonders if he's completely inadequate intellectually. etc. And so she's like, oh, fuck. Seems like he needs a little bit of affirmation here. But like,
so what I'm going to do is reaffirm his dick.
So I'm going to just hit my knees and see how deep I can throat it. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why can't you just tell him, like, he's very smart and he's really good at what he does, and then do the beach?
Because we're not there yet.
After we
have 2 more parts.
Yep. We
Fantasy
have time
reasons.
for the beach, you know?
Fantasy. Okay, fine. It's romance reasons. This one's
it's
romance
romance
reasons.
reasons.
This is romance reasons.
But also,
this is romance reasons.
Although that dick is a fantasy. Is all I'm saying.
Literally, his cock was enormous, beautiful, and hard, and absolutely enormous.
Enormous.
It must be said twice.
She had required. Her mouth dried up. Every plan she'd had requiring sudden reassessment. Like, what?
Hold up.
This is
you
not
can't just do what?
This is not going to be your run-of-the-mill blowjob, all right? It requires stratagems.
But she sure would try. Is the next line?
She sure would try.
She sure would.
But like when she was like, literally the idea of her being like, all right, you know what we got to do?
I'm putting my big girl pants on.
Share up blowjob. Here we go. Here we go. And then she's like, this is.
Wait, no.
I gotta reassess. I feel like
I need to do some jaw.
Yes.
Do some jaw loosening movement.
I need to stretch. I need to stretch.
So just give me a moment.
Some theater workout.
Me and Anna were theater majors. I feel like it was like the diction exercises we had to do.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Loosen up the jaw.
But man,
definitely.
she makes it happen. I'll tell you what.
Oh,
and I love the fact that she's like,
improvised.
"Is this how you like it?" And she knows it's exactly how he doesn't like it. It's all soft and feathery.
And he's like, no.
He's like, no.
hard no. I'm Cassian, the general.
I don't want it.
And she's like, "Ooh, let's go a little bit
if
harder."
If teeth aren't involved, I don't want it. Literally goes so rough on.
Oh yeah.
And then
I know.
Oh my god. And then I love that moment where she's like, "Oh, he's holding back and that just won't do.
Yes,
I need to undo him until he is fucking my face."
And you know what
Nesta.
she does? She undoes him and he fucks her face.
He fucks her face.
She fully thinks to herself, my throat needs to hurt in the morning. And you know what? Respect.
You know, good.
Respect for the commitment to the cause. You know what I'm saying?
Snaps.
She really
Cassian
gives it 110%.
deserves no less.
Agreed.
Absolutely
and I also love that, like, I mean, I've read so many of these romance books where it's like, towards the end of the blowjob, he's like, no, I want to come inside you. They always rip the girl off. They never, ever. And she's like, no, sir.
No, sir.
I am taking this all the way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. And
it is so hot when she's just like laughs and she's like, no. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, Nesta.
Like, no, Shant.
Nesta,
no,
you dirty girl.
God. She
love it.
And the moment when she's like, she goes for it and the teeth action, and then he's like, the literal line is like, and then Cassian unleashed himself.
Unleashed.
Oh, God. Love it.
Okay. My favorite part so far of the book, this is my favorite scene, is coming up when all of a sudden steps that should not have been loud by a person who knows how to be quiet come down the hall.
Azriel.
And like,
oh yeah, he's got his goddamn
the
shadow
chaperone.
Slinger band out, the marching band.
Yeah.
And he's just like, burp,
I'm
coming.
like,
I'm here.
Marching.
Making my presence known.
Because they are not only, like, okay, we've done the blowjob, it's great, but he's like, we gotta fuck on this table.
Cassian's gonna put it in her.
Like, and she's like,
in this
all
common
right,
area.
Let's do it. I don't care. So then
she's about to take her
pants are
off.
coming off.
She's got the button undone.
Buttons are
and Azriel, my favorite is
he's
that
like, good evening, brother.
Yeah, good evening, brother. And like he's just staring daggers at Azriel, and it says like he has the look of a person who takes his chaperone job very seriously.
Very seriously. And of course, I was like, oh God, I bet you do. Like, I bet you do.
God, Azriel.
It's like, so then, like, this is the best part. So then, like, Nesta leaves. She's like, okay, well, this is awkward. Good night. Bye, everyone. Never speak of this again. And she, like, leaves. And And like Azriel is laughing.
I'll take it.
Well, because the next line is asshole. Sorry. Azriel is laughing. And Cassian's like, asshole. Az chuckled, don't show your hand all at once. What's that supposed to mean? Az nodded toward the doorway. Save something for later. And he's like, busybody. Az took a bite. You let her suck your cock in the middle of the dining room at a table I'm currently using to eat my dinner. I'd say that entitles me to an opinion.
I'd get some commentary.
It's so good. It's like perfect.
So good.
In a room that's basically all windows.
Yes!
Like, what are we doing here, folks?
Literally,
I would have loved for Azriel to walk in with like popcorn and been like, why wasn't I invited to the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clearly a public event.
Oh,
my
really?
favorite.
Event.
I did accidentally listen further because I couldn't stop. I was supposed to stop and go back and like take cursory notes, but I did instead just listen more. And one of my favorite things that comes up is Resent being like, "I don't know what the fuck you two are doing here, but it smells. It reeks of sex." So like,
and they're like,
get it together.
That's so great.
What?
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I don't know why this popped into my head just now.
What?
But one of the things that drove me absolutely bananas about the scene where Nesta finds out that Feyre's pregnant is like she has to go through this whole thing in which she finally, I don't know, shows Rhysand that she wouldn't kill her nephew.
Yes. Like that she would
What
cause
the fuck
them
is
harm.
that?
Yeah.
That was
like the
such a
primal.
weird.
It was weird because,
that.
I'm sorry. I know Nesta is like an asshole, but she has never been abusive to any, well, verbally. But like, I would never think she would harm a child.
Well, but like on the one hand, yes, completely agree, and like it's absolutely irrational on Rhysand's part. On the other hand, how many snakes do you have to have in your head for you to think to yourself, I better make sure my brother-in-law knows I'm not gonna throttle his child? Like, what?
Well, I thought it was because he was looking at her, because she goes to say congratulations and she notes in his eyes like this death stare.
Well, because
and
she's nothing but vipers at Feyre regardless. Yeah. So I think he always has his hackles up.
Yeah.
And I think now she's like, oh, seems like he might actually do a murder. So I better.
Well, and that's interesting that you were in her head, right? Because like realistically, he probably was like, please do not piss off my pregnant wife right now.
Yeah, don't say anything.
Do not be mean to her. Do not be mean to her right now. And she was like, he thinks I'm going to kill him. He thinks I'm going to murder him up. Like, no.
That's what he's thinking. I don't think that's, but I think he's just like, be nice. Don't be a shitty person.
But it's interesting that in her head, that's the interaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think that was so, that whole thing, I was like, I don't think that's what he was thinking, but I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
The whole
listen, it got her to like bow her head a little bit to Rhysand, so I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it.
I never. It's so funny because like it's such a bold, risky move. I feel like for Sarah to have the lead of this book hate Rhys, because Rhys is so eternally beloved by everyone that like having the lead think bad things about Rhys or having anything bad about Rhys on paper is like a risky little game.
Really?
Because
I love it.
Risky little game.
I like it, but
I think it's.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, you shut your mouth.
Well, I think it's interesting.
Shut your mouth on him.
The first time I read it, I think it bothered me more. But reading it this time, I think it's interesting. It's an interesting choice because everybody worships the ground Rhysand walks on, including us. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting to see Nesta, who just hates everybody, but to like look at him as if he's not just this perfect being, and how she just can't, like, she, regardless of whether or not it's right or wrong, she sees him, I think, as like not the reason why she is like in this world, but he's like the head of the family, and so she's just like, I hate you the most because you're the like everything here. I'm in this hellhole. I'm shipped off to this house. Yeah, and it's interesting as like a writing choice to see that, I guess, kind of.
Absolutely. Well, and I think the wrinkle it puts in her relationship with Cassian is also really interesting.
That is interesting,
Like, because
it's
also,
a good point of conflict.
On the other hand, Cassian knows that everybody hates his girlfriend.
I know.
He doesn't. But
Everybody.
Rhys hates her. Azriel hates her.
I know.
Hates her hard.
Yeah.
Like,
even Amryn is like, after their little falling out.
So, what happened with, do we know what happened with them?
I think we find out later.
Okay, we find out later.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if we find out like exactly what, but I'm pretty sure it's made clear.
So in the novella, we found out that like she would like Feyre was like she's not seeing anybody. She's like being in her shitty apartment with her like having sex with the people, whatever. And then she found out she'd actually been seeing Amren like once a week to do like magic training and to like talk and hang. And then whatever happened at that barge party, which I've never heard of any other barge but the pleasure barge. Was this a party on the? Was this a fight on the pleasure barge?
That's in my mind what it was. Because we were in the summer court. She was hanging out with Varian.
Yeah. How could you ever fight on the pleasure barge?
Feyre and Reese managed it. Feyre was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go and see if he follows me."
True.
Right,
No, but
that's such a college bar girl.
Truly,
bar
yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, so we know that the fight happened, but we don't really know what happened.
We don't know.
From it.
What it was about, or
why
Amren.
I think we find out later.
We have to. I think I don't remember what it is, but
actually ruffled by literally anything.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
bananas.
What could you possibly have said to her to upset Amren?
I know.
Like,
also
ballsy.
I don't know. I could
remember.
Google. I could go look it up.
No. It's fine. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah,
we're all on the journey together. It's gonna be really great.
We're all on the journey together.
Great.
We're all in this.
Thank you for doing this with me. This is the best.
Oh my god!
This was so much fun.
This is so fun.
I mean, I'm so excited to keep going. Like,
I know.
Oh my god! Like,
I know.
Wait.
We're just getting started.
Oh, we are. Oh, girl.
So we're gonna have, I think at least 2 more. We're gonna do it in 2 more parts.
Yes,
and
that makes sense.
I am so excited.
There's a lot more to go.
Excited. Yeah.
There's a lot more to go.
I'm excited for you, Mel, because you're gonna. The fact that we get to be on this journey, it's gonna. It's fun.
Oh, Mel.
It's so fun reading it with you because you have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
It's so good.
I can't wait for Sarah J. Maas to just, like, change my whole mind. She's going to do it. I know she will. Whatever,
she
man.
will.
I will.
But then she'll also, she'll pull a classic Sarah and make you mad again, and then it'll all be fine again.
Yeah. It's not going to be a straight journey, but eventually.
It's a roller coaster.
Fair enough. I mean, I would expect nothing else from Nesta.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I mean, God damn it.
No, we can't have a clean journey with Nesta.
No.
It's too messy.
I don't know. I think this is a regular HB episode, kinda. Do you have any lady loves?
I'm trying to think.
I don't know if this really counts as lady love, but my little baby just started saying mama, which is really exciting. That made me really happy.
That's so cute.
That was a joy that happened to me.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Oh my god.
And now I'm like, mama. It's really fun. Yeah, it's really fun.
Oh god, it's the best. It's the best.
Kim, do you have one?
So much.
My little ones just started soccer. We had our first soccer practice tonight.
That's fun.
And it was really fun. And I said their dad as if like we're not married. My husband, their father is the coach and he played soccer. And so it was like,
that's great. That's so fun.
Very sweet. And they were so excited. Yeah. So that was fun. And they had a blast.
Okay. Yay. Well, my lady love does not involve my children.
That's good. That's okay.
And it's
whatever you want.
Mine is like, I don't know if this counts, but my husband and I booked a vacation for the 2 of us to do a beach vacation with no children.
Yeah.
And so I just have this, like, I literally, every day I do like a little bit of planning for like all the things we're going to be doing. And I'm very excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited
for
you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And you booked like a super awesome room. Like
yes. I have been asking for this trip for 5 years. Like literally since the kids were born. I was like, all I want is to lie on a beach and have all the alcohol delivered to me in an umbrella drink. So we splurged for like a rooftop room with like a view of the ocean. I'm beachfront. Very excited.
Love it.
Very excited.
Love it.
That is like superhero lady love status.
I'm
great stuff.
Very happy with it.
Yeah. Absolutely. My lady love is talking my 6-year-old into doing sheet masks with me.
Dream.
Did you have pictures?
The best part.
You have to.
Yes, I will send them to you later on. But he was in the car with me and I was like, I don't know, Gaga, like what else should we do today? And I just threw out there, I was like, what if we did like a face mask? and then he was like, what? No. Really? And like he went through this whole journey that I think had a little bit to do with masculinity. And it was really
You watched it real time. It was happening.
I did. And then he was like, and I loved it because he agreed as if he was doing me a favor. He was just like, I mean, okay, Mom, if you want.
Like, if that's what you really want, then I'll do it.
That's so cute.
Oh, God. I love that.
Anyway, yeah, it was a ride.
Freaking adorable.
It was very fun.
Was it when like the PLF ones, or was it like the whole sheet, like the sheet with the whole?
It was it was the sheet, and it was hilarious because I had to like wrinkle it up in order to fit his tiny face.
I was gonna say his tiny little face. Oh, that's so sweet.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
I need to do that with my
Really
kids.
good.
That's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Okay.
All right, so keep being a badass and love yourself as much as we love an audiobook narrator saying enormous.
Yes.
Wow.
Multiple times.
Wow.
So good.
Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list though, so it might be a while. Lilas! Okay, back to the show.